linebacker, a sophomore from Swansea, South Carolina, number 38, Randy Brown. At linebacker, a sophomore from Gaffney, number 46, Eddie Studevance. And at linebacker, a senior from Easley, number 53, Sam Houston. At the linebacker is a sophomore from Powdersville, South Carolina, number 51, Brandon Berger. At quarterback, a senior from Noonan, Georgia, number 4, Nigel Gay. Quarterback, a senior from Manning, number 1, Rochar Witherspoon. Strong safety, a senior from Columbia, number 20, KJ McDonald. And a free safety, a senior from Fort Mill, number 21, Tony Godbold. On special teams for North Greenville, the kicker is a freshman from Pickens, number 39, Matt Gravely. The punter, a sophomore from Chesney, number 80, Bobby Foos. The long snapper is a junior, number 60, Hunter Haynes. North Greenville is coached by fourth-year coach, Mr. Jeff Farrington. The North Greenville University Athletic Program would like to extend a special thank you to all of our sponsors, including Catazoom Custom Wraps, Hampton Inn of Travelers Rest, Nate's Pizza, just west of the NGU campus on Highway 414, Pepsi Cola, George Coleman Ford of Travelers Rest, Chick-fil-A of Greer, Tiffany Friel State Farm Insurance in Landrum, the Trial Corporation, the better athletics building experience, Moe's Southwest Grill of Greer, Graydon Tire and Automotive, Fats Cafe of Greer, Sherman Construction, Nike, the Sam Group, including Angie and Sam Kelly, our donors for our beautiful strength and conditioning center located across the way here at North Greenville, and our newest sponsor, the Inn at Tiger Meadow, a wonderful bed and breakfast just over the hill from the North Greenville campus. If you or your business is interested in becoming a sponsor of North Greenville Athletics, contact Mr. Mike Sepko for more details. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the final day to purchase your Crusader Club gear here at the football. You can go by the tent out front by the ticket booth. But you can get Crusader Club memberships anytime. Stop by during today's game to get your Crusader Club apparel, including several styles of shirts, Nike polo shirts, and a variety of hats.
Just in time. Save me just in time. Who's gonna fight for what's right? Who's gonna help us survive? We're in the fight of our lives. We're not ready to die. Who's gonna fight for the weak? Who's gonna make them believe? I've gotta hear it. I've gotta fight for what's right. Today I'm speaking my mind. If it kills me tonight, we'll be ready to die. Hero's not afraid to give his life.
Following the football game today, the North Greenville baseball team will be hosting its annual World Series across the road in Ashmore Field. Games begin at 5 o'clock with a barbecue lunch. Only $10 for all the barbecue and fixins that they're serving up over there. So as soon as this game is over, go across the road and watch the North Greenville baseball team as they complete their fall training season with their annual World Series. Linebacker, a sophomore from Swansea, South Carolina, number 38, Randy Brown. At linebacker, a sophomore from Gaffney, number 46, Eddie Studevance. And at linebacker, a senior from Easley, number 53, Sam Houston. At the linebacker is a sophomore from Powdersville, South Carolina, number 51, Brandon Berger. At quarterback, a senior from Noonan, Georgia, number 4, Nigel Gay. Quarterback, a senior from Manning, number 1, Rochar Witherspoon. Strong safety, a senior from Columbia, number 20, KJ McDonald. And a free safety, a senior from Fort Mill, number 21, Tony Godbold. On special teams for North Greenville, the kicker is a freshman from Pickens, number 39, Matt Gravely. The punter, a sophomore from Chesney, number 80, Bobby Foos. The long snapper is a junior number 60, Hunter Haynes. North Greenville is coached by fourth-year coach, Mr. Jeff Farrington. The North Greenville University Athletic Program would like to extend a special thank you to all of our sponsors, including Carson-Newman Custom Wraps, Hampton Inn of Travelers Rest, Nate's Pizza, just west of the NGU campus on Highway 414, Pepsi Cola, George Coleman Ford of Travelers Rest, Chick-fil-A of Greer, Tiffany Friel State Farm Insurance in Landrum, Latriol Corporation, the better athletics building experience, Moe's Southwest Grill of Greer, Graydon Tire and Automotive, Fats Cafe of Greer, Sherman Construction, Nike, the Sam Group, including Angie and Sam Kelly, our donors for our beautiful strength and conditioning center located across the way here at North Greenville, and our newest sponsor, the Inn at Tiger Meadow, a wonderful bed and breakfast just over the hill from the North Greenville campus. If you or your business is interested in becoming a sponsor of North Greenville Athletics, contact Mr. Mike Asepko for more details. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the final day to purchase your Crusader Club gear here at the football. You can go by the tent out front by the ticket booth. But you can get Crusader Club memberships anytime. Stop by during today's game to get your Crusader Club apparel, including several styles of shirts, Nike polo shirts, and a variety of hats.
Just in time, save me just in time. Who's gonna fight for what's right? Who's gonna help us survive? We're in the fight of our lives. We're not ready to die. Who's gonna fight for the weak? Who's gonna make them believe? I've got a hero. I've gotta fight for what's right. Today I'm speaking my mind. If it kills me tonight, I'll be ready to die. A hero's not afraid to give his life.
Immediately following the football game today, the North Greenville baseball team will be hosting its annual World Series across the road in Ashmore Field. Games begin at 5 o'clock with a barbecue lunch. Only $10 for all the barbecue and fixins that they're serving up over there. So as soon as this game is over, go across the road and watch the North Greenville baseball team as they complete their fall training season with their annual World Series. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 2016 North Greenville University Marching Crusaders. At this time, would you all please rise and join in the singing as the Marching Crusaders play the North Greenville University alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing for the presentation of our invocation for today's game by Dr. Paul Thompson, who is the Dean of the College of Humanities and the Chair of the History Department here at NGU.
Good afternoon. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for North Greenville. Thank you for a school where you make the difference. We honor you today. We bless your name today. Father, I pray that you would let this game be fun. Let it be a great game. Keep everyone safe as they play and be glorified in this place. We thank you for all our guests, all of our visitors, and let them have an enjoyable day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's color guard is presented by the North Greenville Army ROTC cadets from the Paladin Detachment. The NCO is Cadet Matt Burkholder. Carrying the U.S. colors is Cadet Ethan Clark. Carrying the Army flag is Cadet Sarah Henderson. The riflemen are Cadet Devin Trout and Jacob Mulkey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the Marching Crusaders under the direction of Drum Major Nicole Bridges. And gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America with the playing and singing of our national anthem. Thank you, Marching Crusaders.
And welcome everyone here and away for one last time into Yount Stadium here on the campus of North Greenville University as we get ready for today's afternoon matchup between the visiting Carson-Newman University Eagles and the North Greenville University Crusaders. I am Gray Sutherland, to be shortly joined by Orlando Wells as we get you ready for today's 1 p.m. kickoff in a non-conference matchup. Carson-Newman out of the South Atlantic, North Greenville getting ready to join the Gulf South. We've talked about that quite a few times throughout the season, full-time, I believe starting in 2018. Carson-Newman 4-5 on the season under the guidance of head coach Ken Sparks in his 37th season for the Eagles. Head coach Jeff Farrington for North Greenville sitting at 5-4. North Greenville in a bit of an interesting situation playoff-wise. They sit 9th in the regional rankings in Division II. They need to climb 2 more spots to 7th to get in, and they need some help from 2 teams in front of them. And North Greenville needs to take care of business today against Carson-Newman, and then next week on the road at Limestone. It is Royal Ambassador Day, those being honored down on the field right now as the homestanding Crusaders getting ready to take the field. Will Hunter will lead the offense again. And a couple of number changes on the roster, most notably Ashton Hurd normally wears 22. He will be wearing 17 to honor his teammate tailback number 17, Simeon Bird, who went down with injury a few weeks back. So good move by Hurd to honor his teammate Bird. Also, you've got Randy Brown starting outside linebacker today for North Greenville. He will be wearing 38. Now we'll go down the defensive starters right now. At nose guard, we have number 91, Seth Lauder. Defensive tackle, number 90, Anthony Blair. Number 98 at defensive end, Desmond Williams. Mentioned Randy Brown at linebacker. You've also got Eddie Studevants outside as well. Middle linebacker, number 53, Sam Houston out of Easley. And Brandon Berger, who had a good game last week, gets another start at middle linebacker. Tony Godbolt will resume his starting safety spot after being ejected for targeting last week. KJ McDonald will be in the secondary as well, along with Nigel Gay and Rachar Witherspoon. Seniors now will be running out of the tunnel first. First up for North Greenville will be number 55, Caleb Atkins, a defensive lineman out of Woodruff, South Carolina, from the Wolverines out of Woodruff High School.
Our next senior is number 71, Dylan Alford.
Next up is number 71. That is Dylan Alford, offensive lineman at Georgetown, South Carolina, and Georgetown High School.
18 knockdowns in 2 years. He will graduate in May of 2017 with a degree in business administration. He is escorted by David and Jackie Alford. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, Dylan Alford. Our next senior is number 8, Shaquan Burney.
Next up, number 8, Shaquan Burney,
Spartanburg, South Carolina. He played in
defensive lineman out of Bowling Springs, South Carolina, transfer from North Carolina Central.
He will graduate in December with a major in business administration.
Lining up next, getting ready to come out of the tunnel, is number 17, Simeon Bird. Will be honored today by his teammate Ashton Hurd, who will wear number 17.
We'll give our next senior a little bit of time. He was injured in a couple games ago.
It's good to see Simeon Bird, even though on crutches, able to make his way onto the field. He has had quite a career for North Greenville, a real versatile back, put in short yardage situations, put in goal-to-go situations, and he's busted off several long runs, and he is very capable of such speed.
He is escorted by Dwayne and Tracy Bird.
It's good to see Bird back out on the field.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Simeon Bird.
Next up is number 16, Mike Calabro, quarterback out of Kissimmee, Florida. Transfer from Florida Atlantic University, was back up to Nelson Hughes for a number of years, and has seen some playing time on the field.
Graduated in May of 2017 with a degree in sports management. He is escorted by Paul and Joanne Calabro.
He has not seen the field this year. However,
our next senior is number 4, Nigel Gay, defensive back.
Now number 4, Nigel Gay, defensive back out of Noonan, Georgia, East Coweta High School.
221 tackles.
Extensive time in the secondary for Nigel, as well as returning punts for NGU.
He is a career leader in North Greenville for interceptions. He will graduate in May of 2017 with a degree in business administration. He is escorted by Johnny and Shirley Gay. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigel Gay.
And Nigel Gay this year has played in all 9 games, 31 solo tackles, 14 assisted, 38 total tackles, 3.5 tackles for a loss, 3 interceptions, and that does lead the team. Now here is number 21 for today, Tony Godbolt. Tony Godbolt has also played in all 9 games, 25 solo tackles, 38.5 total tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, and a return for 40 yards to boot, as well as 2 fumble recoveries.
With a degree in health science. He is escorted by Anthony and Andrea Godbolt. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Godbolt. Our next senior is number 53, Sam Houston.
And now the big man on defense, number 53, Sam Houston, starting middle linebacker out of Easley, South Carolina, from the Green Wave out of Easley High School. Sam Houston, well, he's got quite a resume. Played in all 9 games, 57 total tackles so far this season, 10 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. 1 forced fumble to his credit. Sam Houston will surely be missed.
NGU Defensive Player of the Year. He will graduate in May of 2017 with a degree in criminal justice and legal studies. He is escorted by Eric Houston and Elizabeth Sahadi. Ladies and gentlemen, a great senior, Sam Houston. Our next senior is number 66, Armin Lindsay.
Next up is number 66, Armand Lindsay, offensive lineman out of Rock Hill, South Carolina from South Point High School. And you speak very highly of Armand. His protection skills are very strong. Dave and I had sports broadcasting class with him. He is a real classy guy and will certainly be missed as well. Kind and considerate. You definitely want him on your offensive line.
Our next senior is number 20, KJ McDonald.
Next up, number 20, KJ McDonald, defensive back from Columbia, South Carolina. Judge Fork High School, good championship program there. McDonald has played in all 9 games, 19 solo tackles, 29.5 total, 1.5 tackles for a loss. A couple of nice pass breakups as well, and 1 forced fumble for McDonald.
Next senior is number 21, Tico Thompson, defensive back from Greenville. Came to the team in 2015. Played in 10 games with 25.
Next up, number 21, Tico Thompson, defensive back from Malden, South Carolina, transfer from Gardner-Webb University.
With a degree in business management.
And Thompson has played in 8 games, 12 tackles for him, 17.5 total, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 interceptions.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Tico Thompson.
A lot of the senior leadership in the secondary for North Greenville.
Our next senior is number 38, Quan Weeks.
Now here's number 38, Quan Weeks, a linebacker out of Gaffney, South Carolina, from the Indians at Gaffney High School. Quan Weeks has played in 7 games this season, 15 solo tackles, 31.5 total, 3 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, and 1 fumble recovery.
He is a USA Football All-American and an NCCAA D2 All-American.
You heard it right there, the NCCAA All-American.
In health science.
National Christian College Athletic Association put on the Victory Bowl every year. North Greenville has won several of those.
Our next senior is number 1, Rachar Witherspoon.
Number 1, Rachar Witherspoon, defensive back out of Manning, South Carolina, Manning High School. We've got his first career return for a touchdown on a kickoff this year against the Bears up at Lenore Rhine. 100 yards for Mr. Witherspoon. He also has played in 9 games this year, 19 solo tackles, 27 total, 1.5 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, and 13 pass breakups total.
Rachar was escorted by Dale Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, a great senior, number 1, Rachar Witherspoon. And finally, our last 2 seniors. Our first is Zach Taylor, student assistant football coach from Travelers West, South Carolina.
Zach Taylor, student assistant coach, taking to the field now.
He will graduate in December of 2017 with a degree in sports management. He is escorted by Mr. Dale Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
And our final senior today is Nathan Richards, student assistant from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Another student assistant, Nathan Richards.
Has been an assistant with the film staff and equipment for the last 2 years. He will graduate in May of 2017 with a degree in sports management. He is escorted by Jeff and Teresa Richards. Ladies and gentlemen, another great senior, Nathan Richards. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please stand and congratulate all of our seniors.
And those are your seniors for today for North Greenville University football.
Senior class has a record of 25 and 18 overall during their 4 years, and is 15 and 5 here at Dunk Stadium.
Now we can turn our attention to today's game against Carson-Newman. Take a look on offense. They're starting quarterback number 1, Noah Suber, a senior, and a very good senior at that for Mr. Suber on the season. He has played in 8 games for the Eagles, a season pass completion of 81 out of 153, has thrown 6 interceptions, good enough for just under 53% completing his passes. He has thrown for 1,457 yards, 6 touchdowns for Noah Suber. Their running backs today, Carson-Newman runs that triple option veer offense, Orlando, and North Greenville is accustomed to seeing that, and Lenore Ryan shifted away from that after changing head coaches, but North Greenville still got to see one of the best triple option defenses in the country in the Citadel when they came here, so North Greenville still very familiar with that triple option veer that Carson-Newman presents here today.
Played very well in that game against the Citadel early on, and so I just think that they held their own in the first half, but when you have all those scholarship athletes at the Citadel, they just seem to wear down. But North Greenville actually scored first in that game against the Citadel, and it was a goal line stance on the 1 yard line, and then they went and scored 99 yards on a great catch by Javon Smith in that Citadel game. So hopefully we can get off to a good start like that.
And Javon Smith has been a receiver, especially in the second half of the season, that nobody has been able to cover for North Greenville, as well as number 9, Christian Bruce, has had a coming out party here in the second half of the season. His freshman campaign took off, especially against Tusculum.
And we really needed that last week when we played Wingate, because they were very stout up front, and our receivers were able to get loose in the middle of the field and on the outside especially to give us that victory.
And this series against Carson-Newman dates back to 2011. These teams have only met 5 times. This will be the 6th overall meeting. North Greenville has won once in this rivalry, back in the inauguration game here in North Greenville back in 2011. Since then, it has been all Eagles, 4 straight. 3 games in Jefferson City, Tennessee, 1 of those in Tigerville. This will be the 3rd time meeting up between Carson-Newman and North Greenville here in Tigerville. So North Greenville trying to gain some ground back in this rivalry.
Yeah, one thing to note for the continuing theme for the Eagles, they need to be able to win out for the rest of the season to not have their second losing season since 1978. So they're coming in as a little bit of an underdog, and they really, really need to win this game today. And North Greenville wants to keep winning so that we can keep rising up. We're number 9 now in Division II, so we want to get to number 7 so that we can keep going and be eligible for the playoffs.
That's exactly right. Head coach for Carson-Newman, Ken Sparks, not accustomed to having a lot of down years, 338 total victories for the captain of the Eagles. He passed Bear Bryant a couple of years back, and that just tells you where this program stands for Coach Sparks.
And you're always going to have those down years, but you want to end the year above 500 at least, and they're going to be fighting the next 3 weeks to be above 500.
In fact, Carson-Newman has the most wins in the state of Tennessee, the 2nd most wins in the state of Tennessee, only behind University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
Oh, wow. So that's just a testament to a winning program and doing the right things year in and year out.
Also should be note that is the most wins playing in the state of Tennessee since 2010. UTC is first, Carson-Newman second, and then the University of Tennessee is 3rd on that list.
You know, coming into this game, we have got a prolific offense, number 1 in the nation as far as scoring.
In red zone, yeah, in the red zone. North Greenville has only not scored once in the red zone. As Carson-Newman will receive the football first. Matt Gravely on the kickoff. Carson-Newman looking to get good field position here. Out to the 35 and still fighting for yardage. Finally shoved back at the 38-yard line is number 4 on the return. That is Lonnie Williams, receiver out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we'll get to see the veer offense by Carson-Newman. North Greenville runs a base 3-4 defense, and they run it very well. They have 4 stout linebackers anchored by number 53, Sam Houston. And they will be tested today with this triple option veer offense. North Greenville secondary is going to have to help them out on the outside as well. Suber lines up under center. They send a receiver in motion out right. Hand off to the fullback up the middle, and it's a quarterback keeper, and now he options out. And that just really shows you all the dynamics of Carson-Newman offense right there as they pick up 8. Antonio Wimbush on the carry.
Yeah, but if I'm going against the option defense, I'm glad I got Sam Houston on my team. He's ranked 15th in tackles in the nation, and that's really good. They're going to be tested on the edges. Hopefully we can get off the field, though.
2nd down and 2. Suber under center. They send a receiver in motion again. Hand off to the fullback, and he is bottled up and slung back. That was Wimbush again, and he had a welcoming party of number 90, Anthony Blair.
Yeah, and Anthony's a really smart guy in the classroom, and you can see that on the football field. He diagnosed that right away, and that inside dive went nowhere.
Pertinent key today is if you're a linebacker, defensive lineman, whoever you are for North Greenville, keep your eyes downfield on your man. You can't afford to lose focus because they can get behind you real quick. As here is a keeper up the middle, and on 3rd down and short, Carson-Newman will get the first down to the NGU 49. That was Suber on the keeper.
An option is usually a time control offense, and last week North Greenville stayed on the field way too much, almost 12 minutes longer than the other team. That's like playing a whole nother quarter. So hopefully we can do better on offense and continue drives.
Suber under center. They bring the left side receiver closer to the line. Suber looking to option, tucks and keeps it, and falls forward for right around 4 yards. Number 98, Desmond Williams on the tackle.
And that's where the option hurts you. I mean, you know, it's 4 yards here, 3 yards here, and then you're looking at 2nd and short when it comes down to 3rd down or 3rd and 2.
And Carson-Newman is perfectly fine with gaining those 3 to 4 yards of carry because when you do the math, you get a first down at the end of it. Suber back under center. Receiver goes in motion on the right side and looking for the option play. Suber doesn't have it. He breaks one tackle and then he gets flattened back across midfield.
And what that is great pursuit over there on that right side, on that left side of Carson-Newman, and they just held the edge and then pursuit caught up from the backside. Got to hold the edge against the option, make them turn back in toward pursuit, and they did a perfect job doing that. Was textbook defense on the option right there.
Seems like there isn't a play where Sam Houston is in on the tackle. Also give credit to number 91, Seth Lauder, as forward progress was stopped. 3rd down and 10 for Carson-Newman. Suber will drop back to pass, looks down the middle of the field, gets pressured, and will be sacked. And it is number 91, Seth Lauder, coming through the line, and it will be 4th down and long for Carson-Newman.
And that's what we want. We want to get them in something they're uncomfortable with, which is 3rd and long, and then our defensive pass rush was very effective on that play.
Nigel Gay back to return this kick from his own 21. Good snap to the punter for Carson-Newman. North Greenville rushes 2. He gets it out of there, though. Gay calls for the fair catch back at the 18, so that's where North Greenville will start.
I'm really looking forward, Greg, to see today if we can establish the run game. We didn't have many rushing yards last week. It was too tough sledding up the middle against Wingate last week. They have 2 95 and 96 were just dominant tackles last week. So we had to adjust at halftime and did very well and just stuck with the pass. But that caused our defense to have to be on the field a long time.
And this game was very messy last year through the air for North Greenville. Nelson Hughes was picked off 5 times. So definitely Coach Farrington is probably focused on that throughout this week of practice. Now Carson-Newman faces a new signal caller with the sophomore quarterback, Will Hunter. 3 receivers in this formation, 2 right side, 1 left. Hunter in the pistol set. They bring the 1 receiver from the right in motion. Hand off to Ashton Hurd up the middle. Gets bottled up, breaks through initially, and gets wrapped up by a linebacker after a 3-yard pickup.
And as good a back as Ashton Hurd is, you got to think, man, I really want to run the ball today. He wants to get the ball in his hands, and he didn't get a chance to do that last week.
Hurd has had several good games, but he hasn't had that statement game that we've been looking for, like Tusculum in 2014. Hunter working that hard count, lining up Sanders here on the near side. 2 receivers on the left, Rooks and Smith. Tight end in the backfield with Hurd and Hunter. Hunter takes the snap. They run Hurd right side again, right into a host of Eagles. And he's bottled up after a yard.
And you mentioned statement game. North Greenville really needs to have a statement game because they're sitting at 9th and you want to get to 7th. And having a big game today against Carson-Newman will go a long ways to try to move them up so we can get playoff eligible.
You've got Valdosta State and West Georgia, the 2 teams in front of North Greenville right now. Here on 3rd down and 5, 3 receivers left. Hunter in the pistol with now Tristan Jackson, the 3rd down back in the backfield. Hunter pistol set, takes a snap, run play to Jackson. Jackson trying to bounce outside, trying to get some blocks, and he gets out to the 26. Pickup of 2. It'll be 4th down for North Greenville as Crusaders trying to get that run game going early, showing some promise, but not enough for the 1st down.
Yeah. And it's a 0-0 game, and sometimes you got to kind of stick with the run to try to establish it. And so the more we've got dynamic playmakers on the outside and our wide receivers, if we can establish the run, we can get some big plays down the field.
Antonio Wimbush is back to return this punt, back at his own 42. Bobby Foose set to kick it away. Low line drive kick that will force Wimbush back. He fields it over his shoulder. Now tries to cut it upfield. Breaks 1 tackle. Gets to the 40. Gets the block. Gets to midfield. To the 45. Hurdles a man and finally tripped up at the 40. So the Eagles with very good field position. 40 yards to go to the end zone.
I thought there was close clipping of penalty way back at their 38-yard line, but the lineman was right there. The official was right there, and he let it go. So sometimes you just let the guys play. But it certainly seemed that he was hit close to a clip, but it wasn't called. And so they've got very good starting field position right here on their side, of positive side of the 50 for them.
Suber under center to backfield. Receiver comes in motion from right to left. Suber takes the snap, hands it off to his fullback, and he bounces it out right. There goes number 30, Jared Dillingham out of Central South Carolina, just down the road. Graduated from Daniel High School. Now that program very well. 2nd down and 5 after the pickup of 5. Suber back under center. Receiver goes in motion again from right to left. Suber runs the option. Options out to Willingham. He tries to cut upfield and gets stopped at the line as he met number 21, Tony Godbolt. Several of these players from North Greenville today honoring seniors who are not able to play in today's game. Ashton Hurd wearing number 17 for Simeon Bird. Tony Godbolt wearing 21 for Tico Thompson. And you've also got Randy Brown wearing 38 for Quan Weeks. 3rd down and 5. Zuber back under center. Takes a snap, hands it off. Straight up the middle goes number 30, and he should have the 1st down as Dillingham again takes it again and continues to get some work here early for Carson-Newman.
It's an absolutely beautiful day at Yount Stadium today. It's supposed to be 71 degrees today and a nice, calm day here. Not a whole lot of breeze, but just a beautiful temperature for a football game.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, it's not blazing hot. As here on 1st and 10 for Carson-Newman, Suber fakes the option, looks to throw, scrambles out left, still looking downfield. Flag comes out. He'll take off and gets bumped out of bounds inside the 25 down to the 23. We do have a penalty marker on the field. Well, the official gave out that call so quick I didn't get a chance to see what it was.
It was holding on number 78. Shaquan Burney, I think, was coming in really really hard on that edge, and he was going to make the tackle, so the guy just grabbed him. Yeah, it was Quan Weeks that was coming to set that edge, and 78 just got a handful of jersey.
First down and 20 to go after the penalty. And more flags fly.
Ball start, offense, 76, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's caused by the speed of our defensive linemen, because when they're trying to get into us and they're just having to deal with the speed of 55 over there, who is Caleb Atkins, and having to deal with Quan Weeks over there.
Suber under center, receiver comes in motion, stops in the backfield, turns around, heads the other way. Handoff up the middle again, goes nowhere for Carson-Newman. They're able to pick up 2, maybe 3. And it's still going to set them up for second down and long. Randy Brown on the tackle. It's a handoff to number 34, Marcus Williams.
And Randy Brown read that right away. I mean, if he had been a second sooner, he might have gotten the handoff. That's how fast he diagnosed that dive play.
Second down and 18 for Carson-Newman. Or excuse me, second down and 22. They did have the false start, so they pick up 3. This second down and 22. 2 receivers left, 1 right. 2 back set in the backfield behind the quarterback, Suber. He will roll out right, look down the field, throws, and it is incomplete. Thrown just out past the outstretched hands of his intended target, number 9, Aaron Seward out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Bring up third down.
And for me, it's so good to see number 93, Rashad Miller. Last year, he suffered with plantar fasciitis, but he's out there. He's a big guy to plug the middle, and we really need him. And I know he would really love it if he didn't have to face a double team every week, but when you're that big and that fast, you're going to garner some attention.
He looks like he's been packing on some weights in the weight room. He definitely stands out there in the middle of the line. Here on third down and 22 for Carson-Newman. Suber again rolls out right. Now forced to scramble. They set up the screen to the tailback, far side. And he breaks free of Sam Houston, but Sam Houston, not to be outdone, wraps him up down at the 33. That was Wimbush on the screen, and that's not enough for the first down, so decision time coming up for the Eagles.
And when you're out there in the flat, the last thing you want to see if you're a running back is number 53. Nobody wants to see Sam Houston in the open field, and he's just one of those linebackers. He's going to get you on the ground one way or the other.
It's fourth down and a very long 13, and here comes the special teams unit on for Carson-Newman. It will be the field goal unit, number 35, Carson Wise out of Blacksburg, Virginia, transfer from Virginia Tech. So D1 kicker here. Snap is down, kick is up, got the distance, and it is no good. Missed it wide left from right on 50 yards.
It had the distance, it just didn't have the accuracy.
So Carson-Newman turns it over. North Greenville will take over from their own 33. And it was a 3 and out on their first drive. 3 straight run plays, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, trying to get that running game jump started. As it will be Ashton Hurd back out on the field, wearing 17 today. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Hunter yet to throw a pass. Here in the pistol set, takes the snap, handoff to Ashton Hurd. Hurd finds a hole on the left side, and he gets brought down after he picks up 10.
And he's a little bit frustrated because if he had gotten past that last tackler, it would have been a house call. He would have been gone.
That last tackler was number 13, Jaquan Smith, who might have made a touchdown-saving tackle against Hurd, and Hurd officially getting credited with only 9 instead of 10 to be second down and 1. 2 receivers left, 1 right here for Hunter in the pistol set. Number 88, Devon Turman in the backfield. Hurd stumbles, but he gets the handoff and again runs left side. He has a bigger hole, breaks a tackle, and steps out of bounds at the 46. Again, Smith able to stick a hand out there and save a touchdown. First down and 10, North Greenville.
And I think the coaches went and looked at time of possession. You know, how do you help your defense become more stout? And that's continue drives, get first downs, and that's great to see early in this game.
And Ashton Hurd has had two really good back-to-back runs. Two receivers go right, one left at Sanders. Hunter in the pistol set. They run Hurd again, and this time he gets wrapped up at the line, falls forward for a yard. That is Jason Williams, number 27, on the tackle for Carson-Newman.
And Jason Williams met him about 3 yards in the backfield, and just a strong run caused that from being a loss.
Here comes number 2, Tracy Scott, now checking in to give Hurd a breather. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Tracy Scott on the season for North Greenville. As Hunter takes the snap, gives it to Scott. Scott runs it left, bumps into his own lineman, bounces off, and falls forward for a couple more yards down to the 43. That's going to set up 3rd down and right around 7.
And Carson-Newman was blinging a blitz off that left side.
It is 3rd down and 7 from the Carson-Newman 43. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Hunter checks a hard count. Tristan Jackson now in the backfield. Now it turns into a shotgun snap. Hunter takes it, drops back, looks to pass, throws over the middle. It is complete to Mason Sanders, who jumps up and snags that one out of the air. And the first pass today for North Greenville is good, down to the Carson-Newman 23.
And Mason Sanders came into the game with like 485 yards, almost 500 yards catching, and those guys were showing him great respect. They were way off the line, and it was just a beautiful slant route on that left side. And he caught the ball full extension in the middle. A lot of guys are afraid to go up and get it, and he's not.
The tight end, Bobby Foose, motions out into the flat here on the left side to make it balanced set for receivers. Hunter drops back, throws over the middle, looking for Sanders, and he almost hauled it in one-handed as he had a defender hanging on to his arm. Pass will be incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, I thought that should have been called, but it wasn't. They're hand fighting, and that's going to happen a lot. A lot of times, again, the officials let him play, and I'd rather let him play than call I thought a questionable pass interference. But if you're the home team, you want to get that one, but you're not going to be able to hold Mason Sanders all day like that.
Hunter back in the pistol set, 3 receivers right. Ashton Hurd back in the backfield. 2nd down and 10. And play clock running down on Will Hunter, frustrated, and North Greenville forced to take their first time out to avoid the delay of game.
And Coach Farrington's not happy about that. He's not happy. You don't want to waste timeouts because people didn't get lined up and didn't get in the game fast enough.
So hitting the first time out of today's action, 2:34 left to go in the first quarter. Scoreless between North Greenville and Carson-Newman. Talk about Mason Sanders and this receiving core for North Greenville. 3 receivers averaging 16 yards or better. DeMaje Rooks, Mason Sanders, and Javon Smith leading the way. Then you've got Christian Bruce right on the heels with almost a 15-yard average through the air, as Smith, Sanders, Rooks, Bruce, and Foose have played in all 9 games, as well as Turman, Scott receiving, Hurd, Jackson. Simeon Bird has played in 6.
And if you notice on that last play, that great slant route that Mason Sanders ran, he was bracketed. He was bracketed by the defensive back, the safety, and the linebacker, and they still couldn't corral him from getting the first down.
Here we go on 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers right, run play to the left side with Ashton Hurd. Jumps over a man, Hurd to the 10, loses the football out of bounds at the 9. And it will be 1st and goal for North Greenville, barring that turnover.
Yeah, he was looking to dive in the goal line, and he switched hands because there was a defender coming, and you should always switch the ball away from the defender, but he just when he was switching hands, expecting contact, he lost the ball. Probably was going to try to make a dive for the end zone, but we'll take the first down. A great hurdle, though. If you look at the replay on that, a great hurdle over the defense.
Hunter now trying to speed things up. Checks the sideline, play clock running down to 5. 3 receivers in this formation, 2 right. Hand off to Hurd, he cuts it up the middle, gets inside the 5, down to the 3, second down.
And the offensive coach and Coach Pizzo, they'll take that all day.
Great blocking up front by this North Greenville offensive line. The senior Armand Lindsay up there. Also Caleb Harris, Michael Thomas, Casey Stewart, and Cameron Stepp.
And we've got an effective offense, but we'll be twice as effective if we can just keep this run-pass balance.
2 receivers right. Hunter in the pistol set, takes a snap, hands it off to Hurd. No, he's going to keep it. Hunter trying to find the goal line, gets wrapped up behind the line back at the 4. Number 47, Phelan Booker on the tackle.
And our big, what we could call our short yardage back, even though he's a lot faster than that, is Tristan Jackson just checked in the game.
And it is also 3rd down and goal to go from the 4. Jackson's a bit of a bruiser. He'll line up beside Hunter. Receiver comes in motion from right to left. Hunter takes a snap, looks to pass, throws on the quick slant, batted up in the air, incomplete, looking for Javon Smith. They'll bring up 4th down, and here comes Matt Gravely on for the field goal.
And that was a great job of pass blocking by Tristan Jackson, because they actually brought the 2 linebackers in the A and the B gap. And Will Hunter would have been on his back had not been for that block. It just the ball went off the hands of the receiver, or it would have been a touchdown.
21-yarder for Gravely from the left hash. Chip shot is up, and it is good.
And he's like Mr. Automatic, isn't he?
He is. He is. His brother was. It's the family of Gravely's has not had a problem kicking for North Greenville. So with 48.4 seconds to go, North Greenville on the board. They lead Carson-Newman 3-0 off the foot of Matt Gravely.
And you would have liked to have seen with a great run from Hurd, hurdling tackles to get down there, and a great pass before that to Mason Sanders. You'd like to put 7 on the board, but we'll take 3. And also it was a drive that took some time that gave the defense a rest against their a option attack they're going to be on the field a lot with today. So important time of possession.
And North Greenville winning. Got to feel they have an edge here early as the fast-paced first quarter winding to a close. Matt Gravely coming back on the field for the kickoff. Back deep for Carson-Newman. 2 return men back. 1 back at his own 5, the other at his own 9. Listed kick returners today, number 16, Lonnie Williams, and number 83, Devontae Matthews. You've also got a possibility of Kevin Sneed or Marcus Williams.
For NGU, deep for Carson-Newman, number 4, Lonnie Williams, and number 18, Kevin Sneed.
So it will be Williams and Sneed back deep to return for Carson-Newman. Gravely will send a short spinner to the far side. This one returnable from the 15. And if he slipped, the return man slipped. That was Lonnie Williams. Slips back at the 22, and here comes the turf monster again.
Yeah, the turf monster really helped us out last week against Wingate, and then turf monster got another one. So we'll take the 12th man, the turf monster.
Yeah, Williams had space to run. He just, when he planted that right foot to try and make the cut back to the left, just fell down. Worst starting field position so far today for Carson-Newman. Suber takes a snap as they try and stretch out to the near side. Number 6 going nowhere and still staying in bounds. Finally thrown back all the way back at the 13-yard line as Wimbush had nowhere to go.
And number 46, Eddie Studevants, really blew up that play. He got penetration, and he wouldn't let him go backside. He kept the leverage so that all he could do was go to his right, and pursuit finally caught up with him.
Loss of 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 19.
And that's how you play the option, ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure you keep your leverage and force him into a tight spot where he can't go anywhere.
And doesn't look like Carson-Newman is going to elect to run another play for this quarter. And that will do it for the first quarter. North Greenville leads Carson-Newman 3-0 at the end of one. And Carson-Newman will have it second down and 19 when we come back after the short timeout here on the North Greenville Sports Network.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Tiffany Friel in Landrum today.
Getting ready for the start of the second quarter between North Greenville and Carson-Newman. North Greenville strikes first in that first quarter, 3-0. 21-yard field goal from Matt Gravely puts the Crusaders up. And Carson-Newman facing a second down and 19 from their own 13-yard line. Senior quarterback Noah Suber will line up under center. Two receivers set, one left, one right. Suber fakes it, looks down the field to throw, and overthrows his intended target, number 9, Aaron Seward again. But from the way Suber threw that one downfield, it looked like he expected Seward to go about 5 yards further.
Yeah, it looks like the route should have been more vertical. The closest person to catching that was Coach Farrington on the sidelines.
Number 1, Richard Witherspoon on the coverage. Carson-Newman now facing third down and 19.
And this is beautiful if you're North Greenville's defense, because you want to get an option quarterback long time.
Suber drops back to pass again, throws on the quick screen to Lonnie Williams. Williams with a hole, gets dropped shy of the 30 at the 29. That's a pickup right around 16, but it's still not going to be enough for the first.
Number 21, Tony Godbowl on the stop. Fourth down for the Eagles.
And here comes a special teams unit on the field for Carson-Newman.
And if you're the defensive coordinator, that's way too much on that slant, but we'll take the stop anyway.
Tried to sneak Lonnie Williams underneath, hoping North Greenville would lose him. They do bring him down. As Carson-Newman kicks this one away, short kick, and Gay will let it hop and die at the right around the 40-yard line, so no return for Nigel. North Greenville has some decent field position from their own 40, first and 10.
And that's just experience right there. A lot of returners will try to run up in traffic and make that catch, and he decided to just, it's already going to bounce and just let it go at the 40 and not try to risk a turnover.
Yeah, you've seen too many punt returners do exactly what you just said, Orlando. Try and come up and field the ball and take off, and then they either fumble it or get met right when they catch it. So good awareness by Gay to let it go.
Great starting field position at the 40.
Two receivers left, one right here for Will Hunter in the pistol set. Tight end in the backfield as well. Hunter takes a snap, drops back to pass, throws over the middle. It is caught by Javon Smith. Smith on the run, breaks free, gets to the 30, cuts it back right, and trying to make a second cut, slips. And he's down at the 28. Big time play, first and 10, North Greenville.
And that's just our speed. I mean, it's just a great luxury. We got 3 or 4 guys that, they're clocking in at 4.4. And sometimes when they're running, they're probably running faster than 4.4 on this turf.
First and 10 from the Carson-Newman 28. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Hunter hands off to Scott, runs it up the middle. Scott gets to the 25 before he's finally dropped right around the 22. Be a pickup of 6, second down.
And that's got to be driving the Carson-Newman defensive closest crazy, because somebody was in the backfield about 3 or 4 yards and missed the tackle, and that allowed him to get upfield.
2 receivers now right, 1 left. Scott remains in the backfield. Hunter again checks that hard count like Nelson Hughes did for so many years. 10 on the play clock. Hunter drops back in, calls for the snap, hand off to Scott. Scott up the middle, has a hole, gets to the 15, gets bumped by a defender, but falls forward down to the 11-yard line. First down, North Greenville.
And that was another missed tackle in the backfield. You're not going to win if you're missing tackle. You get penetration and you don't finish the deal.
Smith and Bruce and Sanders lining out right for your receivers. Scott in the backfield behind Hunter.
And they're trying to arm tackle Tracy Scott, and he's just running right through it.
Receiver goes in motion from right to left. That's Bruce, and lots of movement up front.
Ball start. Offense, 56. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And I guess that would be the first true mistake against North Greenville today. The false start will back them up 5 yards back to the 16.
They got 56, but he wasn't the only one moving. It was a collection of people moving early on that one.
What was the call last week against Wingate? Everybody but the center?
Yeah, the whole offensive line.
Hunter with a tight end to his right, takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Scott, rolls out left, throws, pass complete to the tight end, Foose to the 5, into the end zone, and a touchdown for Bobby Foose.
And that's what the running game will do, because we are so effective on the ground. The fake held everybody, fooled everybody. Everybody bit on the fake, and he's wide open out there in the flat.
Hunter to Foose puts North Greenville up 9-0 as Coach Farrington sends Matt Gravely back out for the PAT. Kick out of the hold of number 24, Jordan Helms. Snap is down. Gravely boots it up, and it is through. Good. North Greenville now leads 10-0. And Bobby Foose got a touchdown against Tusculum up in Greenville, Tennessee, where it wasn't a short yardage situation like that. He ran a good 40 to 50 yards, really proving his speed and surprising a lot of people for his size as a tight end. But that's something he's been doing throughout his college career here at North Greenville, and that's exactly what he did in high school at Chesney. 12:04 left to go in the second quarter. North Greenville getting ready for another kickoff. Back deep again for Carson-Newman, number 4, Lonnie Williams. And 16, Darius Williams. Gravely has it teed up, and we're ready to go. He'll boot this one deeper, back to the end zone, and that's going to force Williams back about 7 yards deep, and Matt Gravely's got a touchback. So we bring it out to the 25, 1st and 10, Carson-Newman.
And this is where you get in trouble. There's a great advantage if you're moving the ball with the option attack, because you're eating up time and you're eating up yards slowly, and you shorten the game. But the reverse side of that is when you're an option attack, you're not built to score fast and you're not built to pass the ball deep. And so now we see him come out with more wide receivers.
Suber takes a snap, hands it off to one of his tailbacks, number 6, up the middle. Goes Wimbush, and he gets thrown back after a pickup of 5 yards out to the 30, 2nd down and 5.
And it looks like just on that play, the wide receivers were just window dressing. They still went with the dive.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Suber still under center. 2-back set. Suber checks his sideline again.
Let's see if they try to catch North Greenville with another inside slant again.
Suber takes a snap, looks to the far side, throws, pass complete, good enough for the first down to number 4, Lonnie Williams, out to the 38. Well, not the slant route, just a simple curl stop route. Carson-Newman picks up the first down. Suber under center here on first down and 10 from their own 38. Does the end around, now options out to his tailback Wimbush. Wimbush breaks it free down the sideline and only just barely gets shoved out of bounds by number 51, Brandon Berger at the 49. Another first down for Carson-Newman.
And the quarterback does that nice little option spin and just tries to get the eyes of the defense away from actually where he's going to pitch the ball.
3 receiver set again, 2 right. Suber drops under center. They bring a right side receiver in motion to the near side. Suber takes it, hands it off, up the middle with a hole. Gets 11, close to 11, goes Jared Dillingham.
And Carson-Newman's trying to get a little bit of momentum, and you can already see how their short passes have affected our defense in the middle.
Into the Crusader territory from the 40. Suber under center. They do the end around again. Option out to Wimbush again, and Wimbush only picks up 1 as he's escorted out of bounds again by number 51, Brandon Berger.
Second and long for the Eagles.
And that was good pursuit over there on that side by number 51, Brandon Berger, to force him out of bounds.
Second down and 9. 2 receivers now left for Carson-Newman. Suber takes the snap. They pitch it into the backfield. Wimbush drops it, and now he throws it down the field, and it is incomplete. Looking down for Aaron Seward. I think they were trying the no, it's not really the flea flicker, but the old halfback pass.
And the timing of that play was totally off. It was almost a 6-yard sack back there, 6-yard loss, but he barely got it off. That ball hit the ground. He was fortunate enough to pick that ball up and actually throw a pretty good pass.
Yeah, he did.
Considering the ball was on the ground. But that was almost disastrous. That could have been a fumble or anything. Interception.
Third down and 9. Receiver goes in motion to the left side. Suber rolls out left, looks, throws, passes complete. Falling to the turf, Lonnie Williams will pick up the first down to the 27.
Pass complete to number 4, Lonnie Williams. Placed down to the 27.
Lonnie Williams, leading receiver for the Eagles, 469 yards through the air coming into today. First and 10, Carson-Newman from the 27. Suber under center. Options out, right side. Dillingham takes off and gets tripped up from behind at the 21 by number 3, Matthew Thomas.
And Matthew Thomas has been working really hard on that last play. He was blocked and then he was cut, and he was still able to apply pressure, just not quick enough to disrupt the pass. But he's been working hard as far as pursuit out there, and he hobbles off to the sideline. Hopefully that's nothing but a little bit of a nick.
Pick up a 6, it'll be second down and 4. Suber again drops under center, 2-back set. Changing things up at the line, everybody gets set. Hands off to Dillingham. Dillingham with a slight hole up the middle. Picks up the 4 they need, and should be a first down for Carson-Newman.
And that's another first down for Carson-Newman.
But that's a great play by Quan Weeks. He just collapses into the run, even though it's a first down. If he doesn't make that tackle, he scores on that play right there. That's a great feeling to hold. I'd rather give up a first down than a touchdown any day.
First and 10 from the 17 now. Receiver comes in motion from right to left. Suber takes off, looking for the option. No, he keeps it. Suber drags a couple of defenders with him down to the 10 as Eddie Studevants, Tony Godbolt hang on for dear life, but they can't bring him down until he picks up 7, maybe 8.
And that quarterback's a really big, strong quarterback because he's carrying those 2 guys and still managed to get 2 yards.
Noah Suber out of Asheville, North Carolina, about an hour up the road from here. Suber again under center. Receiver comes in motion. Now heads back to the right side. Handoff to Dillingham up the middle, and he gets stood up and thrown back. Seth Lauder and Eddie Studevants on the tackle. No gain on the play.
That dive hadn't had a lot of success today. When they can see the ball, they're just collapsing the offensive tackle right there.
Third down again for the Eagles. They need 3 from the 10. Wimbush and Dillingham in the backfield. Super under center, gets the snap, looks to the far side, and gets blindsided from behind back at the 16. That was Randy Brown coming off the edge, unblocked, and that will bring up 4th down for Carson-Newman.
That looks great on the highlight reel, but that's just great coverage out there on their wide receivers because they wanted to throw the quick slant, and it was not there. He had to hold it, and that 3 seconds ran out quick for him.
A field goal attempt for Carson-Newman from Carson Wise has missed one today from 50. This one from 33. Snap is down. Wise will boot this one up. Got the distance. And Carson-Newman is on the board. So Wise is good from 33. That cuts the lead back to a touchdown. North Greenville still out in front, 10-3, 6:23 left to go here in the second quarter.
And that's a good hold. They had a lot of momentum on that play. I think they would have had more momentum if it hadn't been the trick play that didn't work so well, the halfback pass that went nowhere.
Halfback pass, fumble Ruski at the same time.
So that's a good stop for our defense. If you got to give up anything, it's much better to give up 3 than 7.
Indeed it is.
Maybe a reminder the baseball World Series across the road at 5 o'clock. And another special opportunity coming up on Tuesday, November.
So again, in Royal Ambassador Day here in Tigerville. Also Senior Day. These seniors getting one more chance to play here in Yount Stadium. And several numbers shuffling around. We'll remind you of those again. Ashton Hurd's been wearing number 17 for Simeon Bird. You had Tony Godbolt out there wearing 21 for Tico Thompson, and Randy Brown, who just came up with that big-time sack, has been wearing number 38 for Quan Week. So seniors being honored in more way than one here for NGU.
And yet again, if you're missing games at Yount Stadium, you're just going to miss a good one. A beautiful day. The fall leaves are beautiful. Perfect 70-degree weather day. You can't draw it up any better.
Carson-Newman on the board. Will kick it away. Low line drive kick. Gets to Cam Rice. Rice will turn it from his own 10. Rice heads to the far side, finds a hole, gets to the 35, breaks a tackle to the 40, 45, and shoved out of bounds. Across the 45 at the 47 goes Rice.
And there's a flag back at the 27-yard line. That's always what you hate. A beautiful return, and then you have a block in the back call coming, most likely.
During the return, holding return team number 46. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
And
First down.
That wipes out a beautiful return, that holding penalty.
Yeah, block in the back, hold. Those are real killers on the special teams return. Instead of North Greenville having it 1st and 10 from the 47, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the, 17. So a net loss of 30 yards on the play.
And you could almost hear the returner when he sees the flag. He goes, "Oh man, I just ran that hard, and it's coming back."
So North Greenville's offense back on the field. Will Hunter, Bobby Foose, and Ashton Hurd in the backfield. 3 receiver set, 1 left, 2 right. Hunter pistol set, takes a snap. Hand off to Hurd, run him right side, and Hurd gets wrapped up. No, he breaks free, cuts it up the middle. Hurd loses the football.
It looked like a horse collar. He got away from it, and then he was able to get a lot more yards, and we'll see if they have the ball. He's just trying for extra yards here. No.
Carson-Newman football.
And Mason Sanders comes out of the pile with the ball, and they're saying they're giving the ball possession to Carson-Newman. But, that ball always changes hands several times down the pile. There's punching and kicking and screaming going on under that pile.
Yeah, by the time the officials get to it, it's probably changed hands 3 or 4 times.
And this is when you really found out what your defense is made of on a quick change play like that. Ashton Hurd fighting for extra yard. The ball comes out, and this is what plagued them last year was turnovers in that game, in that close loss.
Well, Carson-Newman looking for the tie here. 1st and 10 from the NGU 22. Option play for Suber. Gets it out to Williams, and he is shoved out of bounds. That was actually Wimbush on the carry. He picks up 5, maybe 6, second down.
We're fortunate on that play. They didn't call extra tackling out there on the out of bounds play because he was about 4 yards and they were still engaged with the runner.
Yeah, that would have been a late hit in the Newberry game. 2nd down and 5. Suber hands off to Wimbush, up the middle, breaks it free, dives for the goal line, down at the 1.
And that's what turnovers really hurt you, because what you do is you just give a shot of adrenaline to the offense that you've held in check. Now they're on the half-yard line, trying to go to a quick count, I'm sure.
Suber under center, quarterback keeper off the right side. No signal, thrown back. No gain on the play, 2nd down.
Yeah, you really don't want to meet number 53. Sam Houston coming up.
Or number 51 for that matter. Brandon Berger comes out of the pile too. 2nd down, keeper. This time Suber jumps for it, and he breaks the plane despite meeting Sam Houston midair.
Yeah, that's that's a tough way to get a touchdown, but they got it. He got it across. All you do is break the plane, and he's plenty big enough and tall enough to jump over there and extend the ball.
Carson-Newman, a PAT from tying things up. Carson Wise on for the PAT.
You know, this is a down year for Carson-Newman, but if you give any team the ball at the 15-yard line from a fumble or a 20-yard line.
Snap is down. Rice boots it up. And it is good. And we are tied at 10 after the turnover from Ashton Hurd. Carson-Newman puts it into points, and with 5:10 to go in the 2nd quarter, we are tied at 10 apiece.
And you hate to see that for Ashton Hurd because he runs so hard and so violently. That's just him fighting for extra yards. So you should have been tackled at the 10 yards deep in the backfield, and he breaks that horse collar tackle and gets 8 or 10 yards up the field. But then when he goes to switch the hand, and that's another thing why they practice this. We saw the receiver do that. Ashton Hurd did that. When you're switching the ball away from the defender, sometimes in a pile that ball comes loose, and that's exactly what happened.
Let's see if North Greenville can rebound from that turnover. North Greenville against Carson-Newman last year, 5 total turnovers, but the Crusader defense was able to force 3 of their own against Carson-Newman. Yet despite those 5 interceptions, NGU still only lost by 3.
Yeah, we can't have that today. It's already, you don't want to lose the turnover battle. Clemson's been doing that this year, but eventually that'll catch up with you. Losing the turnover battle, it's hard to win a game a lot of times.
Tennessee has been too.
And so let's see now. That was a useless hold penalty. That was a great return. Let's see if we can't get a good return and everybody hit their man square. No holding going on.
Rice back deep at his own 3. Wise on to kick it away. Boots this one deep. Rice from his own 2. Rice sticks to the near side, has a hole, gets to the 25, 30, looks for a block, runs into his own man, gets to the 45 and shoved out of bounds at the 46.
And this time the field is cleaned of yellow laundry.
Yeah, no caution flags on the field.
Number 27, Jason Williams.
And you got to think with as many yards as we're getting on the kickoff, we're going to break one of those.
Yeah, Carson-Newman's allowing so much yardage to be gained before the first defender even gets there. So now 1st down and 10 from the 46. 5:01 to go here in the 2nd quarter, tied at 10. Carson-Newman able to put points, get their first touchdown after a turnover. 3 receivers set, 2 left, 1 right. Hunter in the pistol, takes a snap, looks to pass, throws right, pass complete to Mason Sanders at the 47 and can't break free. And Sanders picks up 8.
And that 27 is so far off. They're respecting his speed. I guess they've been watching the tape a little bit because 27, Jason Williams, does not want to get beat deep.
Sanders switches to the far side. 3 receivers go that way. Some movement up front by Carson-Newman, everybody able to get back in time. That hard count, Hunter's working Getting some flinching up front.
Javon Smith is matched up against Jason Williams. Let's see if that's going to work.
Handoff to Tracy Scott, runs to the 45 and falls down to the 44, and that should be enough for a Crusader first down. First and 10 from the 43.
Ball inside, Carson-Newman territory.
And Dylan Alford lost his helmet, and you got to get the equipment man on that. So he have a replacement coming in for him, Austin Cook, on the offensive line.
One receiver right, two left. Hunter motions Foose out to the right. And counterplay, fakes the handoff. Hunter looking for the home run ball. Throws down to Foose on the run. He catches it, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 4. First and goal, North Greenville.
You know, he is so big and so fast. That defensive back has got to have a headache because he had a full head of steam when he knocked him out of bounds. He's going to feel that tomorrow.
There goes Foose on the run again. First and goal from the 4.
I mean, that's the thing that, you know, Deion Sanders for the NFL said that's a business decision, but this is college football, and he put his head down to get him out of bounds. Otherwise, that's a touchdown. What a great pass. Good protection up front. And we had a backup and offensive lineman, too.
Wishbone formation for North Greenville. Handoff to Scott, trying to follow his blockers up the middle. Breaks one tackle, twists and turns his way down to the 1.
What a tough run. He got hit like 4 or 5 times, and he still forced the ball all the way down to the half-yard, 6-inch line, really.
Had the wishbone set. You had Jackson and Foose in trying to lead the way. Now Hunter lines up under center, looking to go quickly, and does the end-around handoff to Javon Smith, who finds the end zone easily.
Man, he's got speed for days. I mean, there was nobody going to stop him. He had so much real estate that they just didn't have the speed to keep him from getting into the end zone.
Had everybody packed up inside for Carson-Newman, and Smith with about 3 yards to go to the pylon, able to get in the end zone.
Untouched, just walks in, really.
Matt Gravely on to kick out of the hold of Jordan Helms for the PAT to put North Greenville back up a touchdown. Snap is down, kick is up, and into the bushes. It is good. North Greenville now leads 17-10. As this game starting to have the makings of another offensive shootout. Again, these teams 48-45 was the final score last year, and we are well on our way to that again.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to have some help from your friends because, you know, Carson-Newman is not moving the ball that well against North Greenville's defense. They haven't really crossed the 50 all day that much, and they just gave them the ball down there really close to the goal line. So we gotta not help them out.
2:57 left in the second quarter. Carson-Newman coming back on to return another kick from Gravely. Back deep, Williams, number 4, Lonnie Williams, and 16, Darius Williams. That's an 18. That's 18, Kevin Sneed.
Anxious to get the time of possession stats coming up at halftime to see how well we're doing in that department.
Number 4, Lonnie Williams. Number 18, Kevin Sneed, all deep.
Gravely from his own 35. Gets rid of this one, an end-over-end kick. 3 yards deep in the end zone. Carson-Newman's going to return it. Sneed takes off, heads to the far side, gets to the 20, finds the edge, and shoved out of bounds at the 25, 20, into the 26, first and 10.
Number 4, Nigel Gay. Number 47, Latif Hughes. Make the stop.
Now Latif Hughes and Nigel Gay on the special teams coverage. Carson-Newman back on their side of the 50 here for another possession.
And that on that kickoff right there, that return was going to be open, and they just, you call it on kickoff, you swinging the gate shut, and they swung the gate shut over there on that right side.
Carson-Newman from their own 26. Suber under center, 2-back set, 3 receivers on the field as well. They bring one in motion. Now he heads back left side. Suber rolls out left, looks down the field, throws, and it is complete. Wide open, Aaron Seward gets twisted down at the 42, Now 41, 1st and 10, Carson-Newman.
And it looks like they're going to try to execute their 2-minute drill, even though there's 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Looks like they're going to try to score, capitalize on that score last drive.
1st and 10 now from their own 41. Seward again lines up, going up against Rachar Witherspoon. 2-back set for Suber. He'll drop back to pass again. Looks over the middle. Forced to scramble. Gets away from run and runs right into Anthony Blair. And then everybody else joins in. And he'll be sacked back at the 32.
That's why it's so important for us not to give them stuff, because they're not gonna be able to just drop back and pass. Our defensive backs are too good, and then that just gives our guys up front that have great athleticism and time to get to the quarterback.
Anthony Blair has been moving into the Carson-Newman backfield. A loss of 9 again. Now back to the 32, 2nd down and 19. Suber drops under center. Receiver comes in motion to the near side. Suber gets it, rolls out left, looks down the field, and scrambles now. He'll take off. He gets to the 35, and he had nowhere to go on that play.
You know what I love about watching Anthony Blair play? They were trying to start to see if they were going to try to do a 2-minute drive and move. Anthony always shows up when we need a pivotal play on defense, and he did it last week, and he does it every week. He's just a smart guy. He's big and athletic, but he'll just toy with the offensive lineman until there's a critical play that needs to be made, and he'll just blow up in the backfield. You can just see it. He just decides to take off and make a play, and he does.
3rd down and 17. Suber drops back after getting the snap, looks to the far side, throws while he gets hit, and it is incomplete. Sam Houston almost had an interception.
And guess who was applying the pressure on that one? Anthony Blair.
Now Suber got hit as he threw. He threw it low, and Carson-Newman very lucky to avoid the turnover, and they'll instead just kick it away.
Well, we really need an instant replay on that one, didn't we?
Number 19, Jonathan King out of Knoxville, Tennessee, transfer from Tennessee Tech. Low snap, North Greenville rushes 3. King gets it out of there. Gay goes back to the 26. He'll return it. Gets to the 30, breaks to the 40, breaks to the 45 to midfield, to the 45, 40. Gay, open field, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he scores.
And there's a flag back at the 30. It's a terrible call. There's a flag right there on the 30. That's going to be brought back. This guy, I think it's going to be a block in the back. And then, like I said, it's another beautiful return. But, you know, the great thing about it, we got a quick strike offense. We got some really fast wide receivers. We'll be able to overcome this block in the back call, but it's just a shame. It's a beautiful return.
The return, block in the back, number 47, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And the crowd's not going to like that one.
I don't know what you can do to remedy the block in the back penalties. I mean, if you see
the back of the numbers.
Yeah, if you see the big numbers on the back, I mean, don't hit the guy.
And 47 was really upset with the call. He felt like he didn't hit him in the back, but, you know, that's kind of say, did you take the cookies out of the cookie jar?
Yeah.
You're not going to say, oh, yeah, I took the cookies out of the cookie jar. So the defensive, the player blocking is always going to say, I didn't do it.
So instead of a touchdown on the punt return, it is 1st and 10 from the 23. Minute 13 to go for North Greenville to put points on the board. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Hunter in the pistol. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Tristan Jackson, running right side. Jackson with a hold to the 30, 35, breaks free, 40, finally brought down as he crosses the 45 out to the 48.
And he's like a bowling ball. He's like a bowling ball.
He's got the speed of it rolling down the lane and the holding call against North Greenville.
And I didn't see that either, that holding against the wide receiver, but that looked like a great – I didn't see that. That looked like a great block.
Okay, so now it'll be 1st down and right around 15.
But there's gaping holes in that defense all day, holding notwithstanding.
Carson-Newman still with all 3 of their timeouts as we've entered the final minute here of the first half. And North Greenville letting the clock go, and Coach Sparks on the other sideline content to let it go as well.
Let's see if they can call holding on a jet down the field.
Hunter takes a snap, drops back, now steps up in the pocket, pump fakes, takes off, and gets rocked. Back at the 17, and now expect a timeout for Carson-Newman. And there's a downed Eagle as well, and it's a timeout NGU.
You know, and what Will Hunter's done a great job of, he's only thrown, 3 interceptions this year? He's done a great job of not just putting us in bad positions with his arm. And there, you really want to throw the ball deep, but, of course, with only 40 seconds left on the clock, the defense knows you want to throw it deep too. So he had nowhere to go with the ball, and he just pulled it down. I'd rather see a sack than just to give them a cheap interception, and that's what he did. Sometimes you just got to eat the ball. It's nobody wants to get a sack, especially the quarterback, but it's better than throwing the ball into coverage.
Will Hunter has only thrown 3 interceptions on the season. Good call there. 15 touchdowns, and he crossed over 2,000 yards last week against Wingate.
And I did the math earlier with our wide receiver, Mason Sanders. He's thrown 24% of those yards to Mason Sanders, so he's a big part of the offense.
Now Sanders continues to rack up the yardage. He's second on a team behind Javon Smith. Coming into the day, Smith had 523 to Sanders 485. Brooks 353, Bruce 298 through the air on receiving. Here on second down and 15. Hunter pistol set, 3 receivers. Hand off to Scott, run him left side. Scott gets to the 20, and he's twisted down there. Third down. Clock runs.
It looks like we're going conservative and we're going to be content to take a 7-point lead into the half.
Yeah. Carson-Newman, even though it's third down, Coach Sparks content to let it go. Clock's down to 7, down to 6, down to 5. Both teams heading toward their locker rooms. 2, 1. And the first half is in the books. So North Greenville leads Carson-Newman 17-10 at the half. And North Greenville should have the option to receive the second half kickoff after, I believe, Carson-Newman started with the football. So North Greenville will start on offense when we come back to start the second half.
Coach Farrington was giving the official an earful what he thought about those 2 holding calls just now.
Can't always escape the coaches. And here again at the half, North Greenville leading Carson-Newman 17-10. We'll be back just before.
Linebacker, a sophomore from Swansea, South Carolina. Linebacker, a sophomore from Swansea, South Carolina. Number 38, Randy Brown. At linebacker, a sophomore from Gaffney. Number 46, Eddie Studevance. And at linebacker, a senior from Easley. Number 53, Sam Houston. The other linebacker is a sophomore from Powdersville, South Carolina. Number 51, Brandon Berger. At quarterback, a senior from Noonan, Georgia. Number 4, Nigel Gay. Cornerback, a senior from Manning. Number 1, Rochar Witherspoon. Strong safety, a senior from Columbia. Number 20, KJ McDonald. And a free safety, a senior from Fort Mill. Number 21, Tony Godbold. On special teams for North Greenville, the kicker is a freshman from Pickens, number 39, Matt Gravely. The punter, a sophomore from Chesney, number 80, Bobby Foos. The long snapper is a junior, number 60, Hunter Haynes. North Greenville is coached by 4th-year coach, Mr. Jeff Farrington. The North Greenville University Athletic Program would like to extend a special thank you to all of our sponsors, including Catazoom Custom Wraps, Hampton Inn of Travelers Rest, Nate's Pizza, just west of the NGU campus on Highway 414, Pepsi-Cola, George Coleman Ford of Travelers Rest, Chick-fil-A of Greer, Tiffany Friel State Farm Insurance in Landrum, the Trial Corporation, the better athletics building experience, Moe's Southwest Grill of Greer, Graydon Tire and Automotive, Fats Cafe of Greer, Sherman Construction, Nike. The Sam Group, including Angie and Sam Kelly, are donors for our beautiful strength and conditioning center located across the way here at North Greenville. And our newest sponsor, the Inn at Tiger Meadow, a wonderful bed and breakfast just over the hill from the North Greenville campus. If you or your business is interested in becoming a sponsor of North Greenville Athletics, contact Mr. Micah Sepko for more details. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the final day to purchase your Crusader Club gear here at the football. You can go by the tent out front by the ticket booth. But you can get Crusader Club memberships anytime. Stop by during today's game to get your Crusader Club apparel, including several styles of shirts, Nike polo shirts, and a variety of hats.
Just in time. Save me just in time. Who's gonna fight for what's right? Who's gonna help us survive? We're in the fight of our lives. We're not ready to die. Who's gonna fight for the weak? Who's gonna make them believe? I've got a hero. I've gotta fight for what's right. Today I'm speaking my mind. If it kills me tonight, I'm really ready to die. A hero's not afraid to give his life.
Immediately following the football game today, the North Greenville baseball team will be hosting its annual World Series across the road in Ashmore Field. Games begin at 5 o'clock with a barbecue lunch. Only $10 for all the barbecue and fixins that they're serving up over there. So as soon as this game is over, go across the road and watch the North Greenville baseball team as they complete their fall training season with their annual World Series. Leadership they have provided for the underclassmen, for their upright Christian character that is seen in every rehearsal and performance. Thank you, seniors, and we wish you the best in your future. Ladies and gentlemen, our band seniors. Now we'll give our band just a few minutes to get ready for our halftime performance. Ladies and gentlemen, here are some scores of interest around the nation. In the third quarter, Mississippi State leads Texas A&M 28-14. In the third quarter, Auburn ahead of Vanderbilt 17-13. Also in the third, Louisville way ahead of Boston College 38-7. In the third, Wisconsin ahead of Northwestern 10-7. And in the second quarter, North Carolina leads Georgia Tech 27-17. At the half, Texas Tech ahead of Texas 23-21.
What is a man that you mindful of him? And what do I have to deserve his love? And trying to make the moments last, holding on to
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. A set of keys has been turned in that was lost on the visitors' restroom. Yeah, check your keys. It's quite a substantial one. I would love to have this automobile, but I have the keys here in the press box. So check to see if you've lost your keys.
took pain. He died on the cross to give me a new name. Ain't nothing like a single foe. I got a beam and glow. I was low low down and dirty, but you clean me, Lord. You adopted me, you keep rocking me. I'ma tell the world ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to make the moments last, holding on to the past. But like a hero in a dream, Christ came and he rescued me. Now I'ma tell the world, I'ma tell it everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm a billboard, and I'm broadcasting like a radio. You wanna know, I'm brand new.
Ladies and gentlemen, the North Greenville University Administration and Board of Trustees proudly presents your 2016 Marching Crusader Band. The drum majors for the band are Nicole Bridges and Ashley Campbell. The woodwind captains are Jenna Thomas, Olivia Curry, Nathan Lowe, and Ethan Griggs. The brass captains are Brian Valenzuela, Garrett Roberge, Sarah Schism, Corey Merritt, and Jessica McDonald. The percussion captains are Carson Myers and Francesca Scott. The guard captain is Emily Hamburg. Your featured twirler is Miss Rachel Huber, who was named Miss Majorette of the Southeast and a top 5 collegiate national finalist in 2016. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2016 edition of the NGU Marching Crusader Band as they present their show, The Sound of Music, designed around the music of the great movie and musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein's Sound of Music. So now, sit back and enjoy your North Greenville Crusader Marching Band.
Band still performing here at halftime between North Greenville and Carson-Newman. North Greenville leading 17-10 right now. Before we get into our halftime stats, quick updates from around the country at multiple levels of competition, Division I, Division II. Let's start with Division I here, Orlando.
Vanderbilt was leading in this game in the third quarter. Auburn is retaking the lead at 17-13 in the third quarter. 9:38 left to go. Mississippi versus Texas A&M, 28-14, and that's a little bit of a shocker with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then Louisville, of course, is all over Boston College, 45-7 with third. They probably could score 100 on Boston College if they wanted to, but it's 45-7 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, a couple of those big upsets that are brewing. You mentioned Auburn, Vandy. Auburn just ahead in that one. The biggie right now is the College Football Playoff Selection Committee might be rethinking their choice to put A&M at 4 as they are. You mentioned Mississippi State was down 28-4, or was leading. Mississippi State was leading A&M 28-14. A&M does have the ball, so the Aggies are going to have to perform a comeback in that one. That one with 9 minutes to go in the third. So pretty sure Washington down there in the fifth spot's going, see, we told you.
Yeah, it's just I'm sure they don't agree with being number fifth. They've had impressive wins this year. They've got a really stout team, just really full of athletes, and they go about their business just business-like. They're matter of fact at practice, they're matter of fact on the field, and they will get to be in the playoff, I think, very soon.
Not many games going on this early in the afternoon. You do have Pitt and Miami. Hurricanes leading that one 27-21. North Carolina leading Georgia Tech 27-17. Wisconsin just ahead of Northwestern 13-7. Illinois up on Michigan State 17-19. Texas and Texas Tech in a shootout, but that's the Big 12, so that's to be expected. 24-23, Longhorns ahead in that one. You mentioned Louisville just basically clobbering poor Boston College. Taking a look down at the FCS level, Charleston Southern tied with Gardner-Webb 7-7 right now. The Citadel is still perfect, and I'm going to see if I can find their game real quick as they are in action today. Also, you've got Wofford and Furman playing today. Terriers ahead in that one over the Paladins, 7-6. Coastal Carolina down right now to Monmouth, 10-0. And the Citadel and Samford have just kicked off. They are 3 minutes into that ball game. The Citadel still trying to remain perfect on the season as they are undefeated, heading into trying to wrap up their regular season and head into the FCS playoffs with a unblemished record.
Yep, it's really interesting to see what happens homecoming today for Furman in that game.
We've also got Presbyterian taking on Liberty today. That is still scoreless in the first quarter. VMI and Western Carolina going on right now. Former coaching job for Coach Farrington. VMI down right now to the Catamounts, 7-0. And that's just about all the area FCS scores. Now we'll take a look at our halftime stats that we have from this game, North Greenville and Carson-Newman. The first step we turn our eyes to, Orlando, you talked about a lot during that first half, the time of possession and how North Greenville needed to improve upon it. They have, however, they are still down by about 4 minutes. 17:01 time of possession for the Eagles, 12:59 for NGU through that first half. And you've got 10 first downs to 17. Eagles and North Greenville respectively, so North Greenville ahead in that category. 9 first downs to 8 first downs in favor of the Eagles. Total offense 196 to 122, also favoring North Greenville. And 2 fumbles for North Greenville. One of those lost that led to the first Carson-Newman and so far only Carson-Newman touchdown on the scoreboard. And 4 penalties against North Greenville for 64 yards, 2 penalties against the Eagles for 15 yards. No interceptions yet, and kick returns have been, special teams have been the order of the day. 3 returns for the Eagles for 67 yards, 2 returns for 62 yards for North Greenville. Will Hunter, 5 of 7 through the air for 115 and a touchdown, has been sacked once. He's completed passes. He's completed 2 to Bobby Foose for 55 and a score. Mason Sanders, 2 for 28. Javon Smith, 1 for 32. On the ground for North Greenville, Ashton Hurd leads the way, 8 runs for 52 yards, no score. Tristan Jackson, 6 for 28. Or as Tracy Scott, 6 for 28. Tristan Jackson, 1 for 2 yards. Javon Smith, 1 rush for 1 yard. For Carson-Newman, Noah Suber, 5 of 8 for 60 yards and no touchdowns through the air yet. Antonio Wimbush, 9 runs for 47 yards, no touchdowns. Dillingham, 6 for 32, and Marcus Williams, 1 for 2. Also worth mentioning, Suber has been sacked 3 times today. Suber has completed passes, 3 to Lonnie Williams for 36 yards, 1 to Aaron Stewart for 15, and 1 to Wimbush for 9. Defensively, Tony Godbolt leads the way for North Greenville, 5 total tackles. Richard Witherspoon also with 3.5. And it is, can't quite remember it, Randy Brown. Randy Brown is on the charts as well. 3.5 total tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Brandon Berger also chipping in 2.5 total tackles. Jason Williams, the man leading the way defensively for Carson-Newman's, 4 total tackles, all of those unassisted. Jaquan Smith, 3.5 total tackles. Stupert, 3 total tackles, and Irvin Nard, 2.5 total tackles for Carson-Newman defensively. Scoring-wise, North Greenville leading 17-10. Matt Gravely put us on the scoreboard first with a field goal. North Greenville took a 10-0 lead before Carson-Newman tied it at 10, and then North Greenville was able to retake the lead with a Javon Smith 1-yard end-around handoff run. Put us at the 17-10 lead we sit at now. Carson-Newman on to kick the ball away. North Greenville to receive it for the second half. And a short kickoff as they are wanting to keep it away from Cam Rice. And a fair catch is called for and received by Tristan Jackson, the running back. So right off the bat, we can see instantly some adjustments being made to the kickoffs. Carson-Newman, I don't expect they'll kick it deep for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they didn't want to kick the ball to Jamaje Rooks or Javon Smith. Those were our some of our fastest guys. So, and they were having trouble stopping us past the 40. So, they tried to do that pooch kick. They said they'd rather give up 35 than 55.
North Greenville starts 1st and 10 from their own 33. Hunter pistol set with 3 receivers in the formation. Looks to the far side, throws, pass complete, and immediately out of bounds is Javon Smith. Good for 6 yards, second down.
And the thing we want right now is separation.
Here on 2nd down and 4, Hunter takes the snap, fakes the handoff to his back, looks down the middle of the field, throws, and making the catch is Javon Smith again as he had to jump. Well, good, really high in the air at least, but he gets the first down.
Yeah, he showed all of his 37-inch vertical right there, and a lot of wide receivers wouldn't have gone up to get that because you expose your ribs, and he did a great job of getting his whole body in the air to get that ball.
1st and 10 into Eagle territory from the 48. Three receiver set for Hunter. He takes a snap, hands it off. Up the middle goes Ashton Hurd for 1 to the 47 and second down.
Second down, NGU.
Second down and 9 coming up for Hunter. Three receivers left and one right.
And we already got a mismatch. Foose on whoever a linebacker lining up with Foose is going to be a mismatch. He's lined up with number 44, Lane Bloom, outside linebacker from Maryville, Tennessee.
Hand off to Ashton Hurd, running right side. He's greeted by a host of Eagles right at the 46. And there is an Eagle down back at midfield and an injured Crusader as well.
Both of them grabbing their knee.
So timeout called on the field. Clock stops 13:15 to go. Two players down, one for each team being attended to.
And that's number 66, Armand Lindsay from Rock Hill, South Carolina, that's holding his knee on. He's wearing a knee brace. And number 40 for Carson-Newman is getting up. That's Irvin Nard, linebacker from Wakehurst, Georgia, is able to hop off under his own power.
And neither of them putting a lot of weight on their right leg.
But you don't want to lose your starting offensive lineman. That's not a good thing for North Greenville.
Yeah, and that's a heartbreaker for Armand on senior day, having to leave the game due to injury. You know he's going to be wanting to get back out there quick, but you don't want to get him hurt any worse. Now here on 3rd down and 7, receiver comes in motion from left to right. It's Bruce. Hunter in the gun, drops back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He lets it loose near side, and Bruce bobbled it and incomplete as he juggled it out of bounds, and that'll be 4th down.
He caught the ball, but by the time he got control, he was about 2 yards out of bounds, so that's an incomplete pass.
So after some initial problems on the drive, North Greenville stalls, and Bobby Foose will be on for his second punt of the day.
And that's a good stop if you're Carson-Newman. You're trying to tie this game down by 7.
Foose from his own 39. Gets a snap. Carson-Newman rushes 3. And Foose gets a high kickoff that will be fair caught by number 6, Antonio Wimbush, inside the 10.
You know, when I was playing on defense, I always look forward to when the ball's at the 7-yard line. You're thinking safety every time on the defensive line. Linebackers too. I want to get that 2 points.
And the way Foose has been punting, he's almost been dead on inside the 10 almost every kick. And he angles for that sideline, and he's normally pretty good at trying to pick out a spot. Whether they go hopping out at the 3, 4, anywhere inside the 10, he's happy.
I think
with
that
it.
would have hopped out of the 2 had it not been caught by the Carson-Newman returner.
1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 8. Suber hands it off to Wimbush, and Wimbush wrapped up quickly after he falls forward to the 10.
Man, that guy is really strong. Did you see him carry Anthony Blair forward? And Anthony's not a lightweight. He actually hit him right at probably the 6-yard line, and he was able to drive forward ahead to the 10.
Well, when you carry a 245-pound defensive lineman with you, pretty good day as Suber rolls out, option play to Wimbush. Wimbush gets a block, finds the edge, and shoved out of bounds right at the 17-yard line. Be about a yard short of the 1st down. Carson-Newman will face 3rd down and short.
You're so used to seeing so much hurry-up offense, but Carson-Newman just content to just walk up to the line and take their time.
Suber takes a snap, and he'll take it himself. Breaks one tackle, takes a shot from Houston, and stretches out for the marker, and it looks like he got it out to the 20.
Boy, I'm telling you, he took a tremendous shot, and he's just a big, strong quarterback, and he took the shot, and then, you know, you got that mass times acceleration equals force, and he has a lot of force going forward.
And you got greeted by all 225 pounds from Sam Houston. Now 1st and 10 from the 20. Suber back under center. They bring receiver in motion to the near side. Suber hands it off up the middle. And another short pickup. A 3 out to the 24.
And they're just grinding, and that's where they pick up all of that time of possession, especially when you're an option team. It's not hard to do.
And Wimbush getting another carry. He's been the workhorse for the 4 minutes that we've been in the third quarter. Here on 2nd down and 6, 4-yard pickup. Suber under center, 2-back set with 2 receivers left, 1 right. Suber rolls that way. They pitch it end around, and number 18 gets it, and he's going to be dropped for a loss in the backfield as Kevin Sneed nowhere to go. Desmond Williams is there, and I saw a 90, Anthony Blair.
And Anthony Blair read that play. He exploded off of his block to force him. He didn't make the tackle, but he made the play because he forced him 6 yards deep in the backfield and was able to have pursuit come up and make the tackle.
So from 2nd down and 6 to 3rd down and 11, a 5-yard loss on the play. Well, the Eagles backed up to their 19. Suber under center. Now they send a tailback in motion out into the flat. Suber looks that way, throws, completes the pass to his tailback. And Wimbush gets bumped out of bounds at the 26, maybe 7-yard line, and he's going to be a few yards short of the 1st down.
And you see that so much in football. It doesn't matter what level. You're moving the ball okay, and then you try a trick play, and they did that with the halfback pass in the first half, and it was a not ill-advised play. The ball was fumbled, and that play, a trick play, when you're moving the ball 2 and 3 yards at a time, and that loses you 6 yards. So sometimes trick plays are not always advisable.
Nigel Gay back at his own 36 to return this one from Carson-Newman. And they're going to fake the punt. Wimbush direct snap. Has daylight on the edge. Has the 1st down, 45, and he is going to take it all the way. So Ken Sparks rolls the dice, and it pays off.
And that's a trick play that really worked well. But it's just this is being under 500 and having to win this game, wanting to get to 500. That's just playing with house money. And he's rolling the dice. That just tells you I want to win this game.
The only team to execute a fake punt better, I have to say, Livingstone College last year. They faked it on 4th down and 19 and did not care. New set of downs for Carson-Newman from their own 46. Receiver comes in motion to the left side. Suber gets a snap. Handoff up the middle. Met quickly and thrown back after a 2-yard pickup goes Wimbush. Matthew Thomas on tackle.
Rashad Miller, number 93, showing good sportsmanship and just picking number 78 like a sack of potatoes up off the ground for Carson-Newman, Dan Allman.
Receiver comes in motion again for the Eagles. Suber gets a snap, drops back to pass, rolls out near side, pump fakes, lets it loose down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Looking for Seward on the seam route, well covered by Nigel Gay, who fell at the end of the play, but 3rd down.
You know you got tremendous speed when you slip down and you still ahead of the wide receiver to cover it.
That he did. So another 3rd down coming up for the Eagles. This one a 3rd down and 8.
I think they're going to have to attack North Greenville underneath because our guys on the outside are just locking them up pretty good.
Suber under center. They need to get to the 30 or to the 44. Suber drops back to pass again. He delays the handoff, and going nowhere is the tailback. That was Dillingham getting wrapped up quickly.
Rashad Miller. And it's like, it's one thing to slip a block, but how do you not block at the biggest guy on our offensive line? That's not going to work out too good.
So 4th down after the loss of 2 on the play. See if Carson-Newman fakes it again.
But that's just tremendous strength by Rashad Miller. Yeah, he's a load to bring down. Just tremendous power through his hips, and he just blew that play up.
Now they're going to kick this one away. Nigel Gay back to return at his own 15, calls for the fair catch. And North Greenville will start 1st down and 10 from their own 15. So that was a good drive by Carson-Newman. They fake the punt on 4th down, get the 1st down, but then it stalls out. In Crusader territory, they are forced to kick it away. 8:05 left to go here in the third quarter. Score remains the same from halftime, 17-10. If it's North Greenville, you're almost like you're hitting the reset button. Score's still the same. You're just 7 minutes off the clock.
And you would like to see them establish the running game, but I don't think Ashton Hurd's 100%. We saw him limp off, and he hadn't been the same since the first half.
Hunter takes a snap. It will be a handoff to Tracy Scott. Scott finds the hole, and he gets across the 20, down to the 24 before he's dragged down by number 44, Lane Bloom.
The great thing about Scott, he's showing great patience to let his block sit up. And when he sees a little crack, he's exploding. But he's taking some cautious steps to let his block set up. And then when he sees that crease, then he shoots right through the crease. He's doing a good job of being patient and running through the hole.
Second down and 1 gives Scott 9 on the play. 3 receivers set, 2 right side. Hunter takes a snap. They run Scott right side. And another hole for Scott. Scott to the 35, to the 40. And he's dropped just shy of the 45. Phelan Booker makes the stop. But it's going to be a first down. First down and 10 now from the 45. Hunter takes a snap. Hand off to Scott left side again. Scott bowled up and thrown back. No gain on the play. Number 21 that time, Jerry McLeese makes a stop.
And that's one thing you want to keep a watch on. You're not going to make a living doing that, because when Coach Pizzo sees you creeping up and putting 9 and 10 men in the box, he's going to hit you with something deep, and that's how the running game is starting to get better when their defensive backers are having to make tackles.
3 receivers right side, unbalanced that way. 1 man to the left. Hunter will drop back to pass, looks that way, lobs one up, and it will be dropped.
Oh man, it's just we haven't seen many of that, and really Will is going, are you kidding me? But Will drop that right in his basket. You can't throw it better than that between 2 defender. And the sun's really bright. Maybe he lost it in the sun for a minute. We'll give him the benefit of doubt, but you can't throw it any better than that.
He was looking for number 7, Demaje Rooks. Now third down and 10.
But that was a beautiful pass by Will Hunter. Just a beautiful pass.
Trips right again for North Greenville. Shotgun snap now for Hunter. Takes it. He'll drop back. Here comes the pressure. Throws over the middle. Pass complete to Mason Sanders. Good for the first down. And Sanders still dragging defenders with him just like he did against Wingate down to the 30.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's a big man that can move really fast. And that's just physics right there. He weighs more than that guy, and he's tall. He's got the leverage to lean forward, and he just drags him forward.
A former Bulldog out of Bowling Springs bowls his way down to the 30, first and 10 for North Greenville. Wishbone formation for NGU again. Foose and Jackson in the backfield, flanking Hunter, and Tracy Scott directly behind his quarterback. Hunter takes a snap. They'll run Scott. Scott, left side, follows Jackson and takes a good pop around the shoulders. Still manages to get about 2 yards.
And he runs into his own man. If he doesn't run into the back of his own man, he may still be running.
Second down and 8.
We're getting close to red zone.
Same wishbone formation again, just on the fringes of that red zone. Hunter again.
And probably the most important thing about this drive, we're taking time off the clock.
Started with right around 8 minutes. 3 minutes have already elapsed as Hunter takes a snap, drops back, looks far side, throws that way. On the run is Sanders, and he can't reel it in. Sanders double covered as Hunter overthrows a 6'6" receiver.
Yeah, I think I would like to see him put a little bit more air under that ball and let Mason Sanders. There's not many jump balls that Mason Sanders not going to get. He just needed to put a little bit more air under that ball. Because over there on number 27 from the Carson-Newman, he must have 7 inches on that defensive back on Jason Williams over there. That's a mismatch. I'd do a fade in the corner.
3rd down and 8 after converting a 3rd down and 10. Hand off to Scott, run him left side. He's wrapped up from behind, still manages to fall forward for a couple yards down to the 26. And here comes Matt Gravely on. 4th down and 6 from the 26. It's a 43-yarder from the far side hash for the right-footed kicker. Motion for the snap. Gravely boots it up. Got the distance. He missed it.
A rare miss from Jason Gravely.
Only his 3rd miss on the season on field goals.
But you would think about, you go back, drop balls will always kill you. The ball would have been on about the 15-yard line had number 7, DeMajier Rooks, not dropped that ball. So you can't drop balls that hit you right in the belly, right in the hands, because you're not going to get many of those chances. And it was in between double coverage. So it's a beautiful throw. You just got to have that reception.
That was a good rest, though, for the North Greenville defense. Almost 4 minutes on the sideline. After stopping Carson-Newman, they'll be called upon again here with 4:17 left to go in the 3rd. Suber under center with his 2-back set. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Suber gets it, looks to pass, gets pressured, steps up, and will be dropped again. Number 8, Shaquan Burney, provided the pressure, and I think it was Seth Lauder who closed in on the quarterback.
And, of course, Rashad Miller is riding the ball, too, falling on the quarterback. That's you don't want to be underneath of that pile when he's falling down on you.
No, you don't.
It's like an earthquake coming down on you.
I don't even think his jersey can cover his entire belly. Miller gets set again. Suber under center. They do the end around, and the quarterback gets hit right as he makes the pitch, but he gets the pitch to Wimbush, and Wimbush somehow gets spun around doing a pirouette out of bounds as Brandon Berger had him and then had to let him go as he slung him out of bounds.
We're getting a lot of push out of our interior line, and we're getting ceiling on the corner. One of the things we struggled with last week is just setting the corner and making the tackle and setting the edge. And we're getting push up the middle, which is always disruptive, and then setting the edge.
And another 3rd down and long for Carson-Newman after gaining back the lost yardage. 3rd down and 10 from the 26. Receiver goes in motion. Suber rolls out, options out, gets the block, and going nowhere is Dillingham. North Greenville is able to play the pitch man, and it's only a pickup of 3, 4th down.
And that's senior KJ McDonald, just having experience and knowing, okay, I know he's going to pitch it, and he still has enough speed. He's covering the quarterback, but to get to the pitch man as well and bring him down for a loss.
Nigel Gay back on to return the punt from his own 30.
KJ McDonald is from Columbia, and he's worked with the district attorney like that in the summer, and just a great story, a young man that's going to go far when he graduates.
North Greenville doesn't rush anybody, and it's a high kick. Nigel Gay comes up to the 37 to make the fair catch. So again, another case of Jonathan King trying to keep it away from Nigel Gay, who had a return today but had it called back. That return went for what would have been 6, but called back for a hold.
And the defense is only on the field for a little over a minute and almost just under 2 minutes. So that's getting off the field in a hurry, and that's what you need. It's starting to get a little bit warm out there, and it's maybe 71 and beautiful, but you can bet there's another 20 degrees on that field. So it's probably about 90 degrees on that field out there.
Yeah, this AstroTurf rakes in the heat as Foose motions out into the flat on the far side. Hunter drops back to pass, throws that way, pass complete to Foose, and Foose is off to the races, to the 40, runs into Sanders, and gets bumped out of bounds at the 38.
And you think about Mason Sanders being so tall, being a mismatch, but Foose he's so big and compact. I mean, he's faster than most linebackers, and he's going to run over the cornerback. How do you cover that guy? That's really a tough assignment.
Bobby Foose, 6'2", overshadowed just about every corner he went up against in high school. Here on 1st and 10 from the 38 of Carson-Newman. Receiver comes in motion for NGU. It's Smith. They fake the pitch to him, hand off to Hurd. Hurd runs left side and gets slung to the turf by number 37, Shaheem Stupert.
And Ashton Hurd's running hard, but he just doesn't have the explosiveness that he had before he had that little knee nick up. So I think he's running, but he's not running with 100% wheel back there.
And Stupert, another local kid out of Taylor, South Carolina, a general from Wade Hampton. Hunter now in the pistol set here on 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers right, Smith and Foose. Bruce and Sanders left.
And that hard count from Hunter is affecting the defensive tackles right there.
4 on the play clock. Hunter gets set again. 2, gets the snap off, drops back. Here comes pressure, steps up, gets away. Hunter takes off. No, he throws to the end zone. It is incomplete. Sanders in the end zone, not able to come up with it.
And Hunter and Will is kicking himself because he got past the initial rush. 4 guys rushed past him, and they sent the blitz, and he just couldn't square. He couldn't square his hips enough to throw to a wide-open Mason Sanders in the back of the end zone.
Sanders had a nice tiptoe catch like that on the back of the end zone against Charleston Southern his freshman year. Here on 3rd down now for Hunter.
The defensive coordinator is yelling out something to Carson-Newman.
Hunter takes a snap, looks down the middle of the field, stands in the pocket, throws a bullet, caught. And a yard short of the first down will be Javon Smith, but, I mean, it's close enough. You can get up to the line and go for it.
Yeah, I thought he almost got it with forward progress, but.
Hunter under center. Carson-Newman stacks the box. The Eagles want a timeout.
And I'm glad that they called a timeout because our guys moved early. That would have been.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
That would have been a legal procedure on us if they didn't call the timeout on that because our left guard and tackle moved. So that's a fortunate timeout for us because that would have been a 5-yard penalty.
That would have taken a chance of going for it all but away. It's 4th down and 1 from the 29. They need to get a yard to the 28 to keep things going. From here, it would be a 46-yarder. Gravely just missed from 43.
And that was a little bit of a weird angle on that kick too. I think if he kicks this one dead on, he'll make it. But really, you want to get separation. Like I was talking about, this is a statement game. If North Greenville can beat the Eagles by 2 or 3 touchdowns, that will help their cause to get into the playoffs.
There was about a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind when we started at 1 p.m. That has since died away, and it was blowing from east to west across the field. And the offense is back on the field. 2 receivers right, Hunter in the pistol set with Jackson behind him. He'll hand it off to Jackson. Jackson straight up the middle, thrown back, but he gets the progress to the 27. That should be a 1st down.
Boy, how big and fast do you have to be to knock him back like that? But he got 3 or 4 yards before he's met by the middle linebacker. And that's a train wreck right in the middle of the field right there. That's violent collision right there.
17 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. North Greenville hanging on to the football for the moment. They have 16 on the play clock, and they are going to be content to take this one to the 4th quarter. 3 seconds, 2, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Nobody able to find the end zone for either team, and Matt Gravely pushes a 43-yard field goal wide right, so the score remains the same from halftime. 17-10, North Greenville leads it. Driving, though, 1st down and 10 when we come back from the 27 here on the North Greenville Sports Network.
Combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Tiffany Friel in Landrum today.
Well, fourth quarter coming quickly for North Greenville. 1st and 10 from the Eagle 27. Hunter takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks to the far side, throws that way, on the run, pass complete, touchdown, Crusaders. Number 9, Christian Bruce, comes up with the grab. His first touchdown of the season.
And the call was the lineman threw his hat, and when he goes out of bounds on defense, you just want to see if he established himself back in. Obviously, they called it a touchdown.
Gravely on for the PAT, boots this one up and through. So North Greenville gets a much-needed touchdown to go up 24-10 over Carson-Newman. Now we're in the fourth quarter. There's still just under 15 minutes left in this ball game, but down double digits. Carson-Newman liking to run that veer triple option, but time's against you now.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful play on the outside right there. Will Hunter took a little bit of time. Our receiver was forced out of bounds, but he made a great effort to get back in bounds. So the official said that was a legal play. He got back in bounds, established himself, caught the ball for a touchdown. It's the little things that you don't see a lot of times in the game. A wide receiver fighting to get back into the field to play after he was pushed out. So that's a really good job over there.
Also, apparently, somebody's yearbook predicted this victory. Somebody down in the student section holding up a sign that's echoing somebody's yearbook somewhere actually predicted that the Cubs would win the 2016 World Series. I don't know how you figure that, but that's what it said.
You know, when the Cubs and the Indians are in the World Series, you may be looking for the trumpet sounds to come. The end may be near.
Gravely on to kick it away. Returners for Carson-Newman wait at their goal line. Gravely will boot this one deep. It's returnable from the 3. For Williams, he gets to the 20, breaks head out to the 25, stays on his feet, and gets across the 30 out to the 33. I think that was Nigel Gay that ran past him and then came back to make the tackle.
I think actually that was number 45 that ran past him, and that would have been Jeremy Hunt. And that's a great job, along with Nigel Gay, to get back and make the play.
That's a quick linebacker.
Just try and try again. It failed the first time, keep on trying. And that's a good recovery to come back and make that tackle on the backside.
First down and 10 for Carson-Newman from their 33. One receiver left, 2 right, still a 2-back set. Suber under center. Checking to his line and hands it off up the middle to Dillingham. Dillingham falls forward across the 35 to the 37. That's a pickup of 4, second down.
It's funny, you know, we go power for speed, and we got our speed defensive linemen in there right now, 44 and 90. Guys are really quick off the ball.
Suber back under center. Now 2 receivers left. And he throws out into the flat, pass complete, and the tailback is upended for no gain on the play. Lonnie Williams held on to it. Excuse me, that was a receiver. And nowhere to go for him. It'll be third down.
And Rashard Witherspoon read that all the way. The guy never got a glove on him, and he just raced into the backfield to make that tackle. That's great run support for your corner, and you got to have that against the option. On an option, you got to have everybody, all hands on deck, and that's a great play by a defensive back to hold that to no gain or a loss.
Third down and 6 for Carson-Newman from their 37. Suber under center, brings a receiver in motion. He'll drop back to pass. Suber looking down the field, pump fake, steps up, takes off, gets to the first down, gets to the 45, and has it to the 47. Drive continues.
And that's making the best out of lemons. He made some lemonade out of that play because that was totally busted.
First and 10 for Carson-Newman now from the 47. One receiver going right, and 2 lining up left.
And if you saw that play, Anthony Blair took the right offensive tackle and guard plus the running back with him on that play blitzing.
Zuber fakes the handoff, looks down the field to throw, throws it, pass complete, but it is out of bounds. He got it to Seward, but it was out. It'll be second down.
And that's a great recovery by Chauncey Haney. He was cut on the play, but was still able to force an early throw from the quarterback. That's really recovering well off our cut block by number 64 from Carson-Newman.
Zuber lines things up, second down and 10 still from the 47. 2-back set and 2 receivers over left side. He'll take the snap, fake the handoff, roll out right, look down the field, lob it up, has a man wide open. Pass complete to the 20, to the 15, over to the 10, to the 5, and diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Carson-Newman from number 6, Antonio Wimbush.
And that guy's there. Noah Zuber is a really strong kid. I mean, he is nailed in the ribs and is still able to get the ball 40 yards down the field. I mean, that's some kind of power that he has.
North Greenville just lost a tailback underneath. He was wide open. Nobody around him for 5 yards.
And then the guys in the secondary could not make the tackle. They had the angle but over-pursued, so that's just a good run. Late tackle running on – late offensive lineman running on the field for Carson-Newman for the point after.
Carson Wise on for the kick. Snap is down, low snap. Wise gets it up, and it is good. So Carson-Newman able to rally and cut the lead back to 7. North Greenville still out in front, 24-17. 12:42 to go.
And Carson-Newman, like we said, is one of the winningest teams in Tennessee. So you're not just going to shut them out, and they're not going to quit. Their coaches coach them well, and that's just showing a lot of fight. Not having the season they want to have, they're continuing to fight, though.
Yeah, Carson-Newman coming into today off a win against Limestone. Before that, it was a back-to-back losses against Newberry and Wingate. They got a win against Brevard. They did lose to Lenore-Rhine back on the 1st of October. And since the start of the season, Carson-Newman's been trading wins and losses. And they haven't really been able to find any sort of rhythm.
And like I said, this is a must-win game for them. So they've got to win the next 3 games to have a winning season this season. And to avoid a losing season. So they're desperate for a win here, and they're fighting. And North Greenville is trying to really move themselves into playoff position. Like I said, a 2-touchdown win over Carson-Newman may be enough to impress some playoff voters to get them in. Now maybe we can get a good return with no holes, no blocks in the back, and a house call for 7.
Cam Rice lining up for another kick.
Looks like an onside kick. I don't know. What are they doing?
Yeah, from the way they're stacking things up.
No, they're just going to pooch it. Let it go out of bounds.
It will go out of bounds about the 27-yard line. That'll draw a flag and move North Greenville up to over across the 30-yard line.
On the kicking team, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Ball out to the 35-yard line. First down and 10 NGU.
And what you love to see is with 12 minutes and 42 seconds to go, you would love about an 8-minute drive here for North Greenville. Just grind it out and then score to cap that drive off with a score. If you're Carson-Newman, you want to get a stop and get the ball back for your offense that seems to be getting a little bit of momentum here.
And how about this update? Navy beats Notre Dame to put the Irish at 3-6. 28-27. Now the Irish have to win out to become bowl eligible.
And I think that coach is going to be on the hot seat, if not looking for a pink slip.
Brian Kelly, the head coach of the Fighting Irish, in trouble as Hunter hands off to Scott. Scott straight up the middle, breaks a tackle across midfield to the 40, 35-30. Scott outrunning everybody to the 10, 5, and he scores.
And that play has been on the cusp all day. He's been finding those gaps, and with a great explosion, he has been running through those holes. That's a great run. Unfortunately, it puts the defense right back on the field, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
And he almost ran right back into the weight room. I thought he was going to go lift some weights before coming back onto the field.
Yeah, he turned on the Jets once he got through the secondary. Nobody was going to catch him.
Gravely on for the PAT. Low snap. He gets it up. And it is good.
And that may be the nail in the coffin for early in the fourth quarter for Carson-Newman. We'll see how they respond after that, after giving up a quick score like that.
Now it's 31-17, 12:30 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Can you imagine what practice is like, Greg, when we have all these guys, when Javon Smith, these guys are just lining up and doing wind sprints, because we've got some really fast guys on our team.
Well, and on the flip side, that helps out your defensive backs because I'm sure they get tired of getting burned, so that helps make them faster too.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed going on our team. I mean, just explosiveness. I mean, when he got through the hole, he saw that he was open and he hit another gear, and nobody was going to catch him.
Texas A&M still trailing Mississippi State 28-21. That game in the fourth quarter now. Gravely lines up for the kickoff. Two return men back deep. Williams stands at his own 6. Gravely, line drive kick right to Williams. Actually, it dies at the 5. Now it gets past the return men. It's not in the end zone. They'll have to bring it out. They try the near side, find an initial hole, and tripped up at the 21, 22-yard line. Number 18, Kevin Sneed on the return, but still a long field for Carson-Newman.
And that could have been disastrous for Carson-Newman because that ball hit one of the ankles of the returners, and they're both trying to scramble. It looks like a routine from Laurel and Hardy, them trying to pick up the ball down there.
All right, you got it? No, I thought you had it.
Yeah, nobody had it. And all the while, the North Greenville kick defense team is closing in on them, so that they had to hurry up and pick that ball up and try to get the ball out. I think they're fortunate to get to the 25 with that ball.
A touchdown was the result of Carson-Newman's last drive, but now they're back down 14 as Suber drops back to pass, gets pressured, scrambles out near side. Now he's forced to take off, gets wrapped up at the 25, falls down to the 27.
And their quarterback Suber is so elusive in the open field. For to be that big, he's got a little wiggle in his hips.
Brandon Berger brings him down. And after the 3-4-yard pickup, make it second down.
And Suber comes up limping after that play.
He stays in the game, drops under center. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They bring 1 in motion. As Suber rolls out left, forced to pitch it. Ball's dropped. And luckily, the tailback falls back on it.
And that's like a 7-yard loss.
As that was Dillingham who got the pitch, but was met quickly by, I think it was Shaquan Burney. And Matthew Thomas was able to hurry to force a bad pitch.
And that ball hits the ground, and they're fortunate again to get back on the ball. 2 plays in a row on the kickoff and on this pitch.
Third down and long for the Eagles. That's been the story of the ball game for them.
And that's just fatigue setting in, I think. Fatigue and basically looking for the ball.
Suber under center, drops back to pass, gets pressured again. Bernie in his face. Now here comes another Crusader, and the ball pops out. Lands in the hands of an offensive lineman. He takes off and gets dropped at the 25.
And Shaquan Burney is just sick. He beat 2 guys, and he tried to get to him, and Rashard Miller applies pressure, and he causes the quarterback to lose the ball. He swipes at the ball comes out, and then the offensive tackle gets the ball. So now that's 4th down. They're going to punt it.
Well, that was 64 who brought down the loose ball, but there's no 64 listed. So
yeah, I noticed that earlier. I'd like to see that. He's pretty quick. He may want to play tight end.
As a high skyrocketing
what
punt
a
will force
punt.
Gay back to the 20, and it's going to take a couple of hops and roll into the end zone. So a little too much on that one from number 19, Jonathan King.
That's a booming punt. He's got that's gonna affect his net average, but that's some kind of punt. I mean, just a booming punt.
Well, transfer out of Tennessee Tech, able to rocket that one. That one was from what, about his own 20?
Yeah, that's an 80-yard punt, but he's gonna get what, a 60-yard net on that.
Yeah.
But man, that's some kind of punt right there.
10:09 to go in the fourth quarter. North Greenville gets the ball back on offense, up 14.
And that's why it's really good to have fast guys on punt coverage, because it'd been great if they could have got somebody under that.
Hunter takes a snap, hands it off to Ashton Hurd up the left side, up the gut, and gets nothing on the play. Second down.
And Ashton just after the first quarter, when he went out with a knee injury, he could just not he does not have the explosiveness. He's slow getting up right now. But as long as he doesn't fumble the ball, I don't think the coach much cares if he gets tons of yards right now. We're just trying to eat clock up.
Lots of time left, 2/3 of the fourth quarter, as three receivers go right for Hunter. Hurd lines up behind him. They run Hurd left side again. He cuts it out the middle, gets wrapped up from behind by number 52, Keontae Moore from Greenwood, South Carolina.
And we've got another offensive lineman on the ground, 71, who went down early. He's holding his knee. Dylan Alford, he's down again. It's just tough on offensive linemen. Now nobody wore braces all the time, but you'll see with all the contact and blocking that happens at the knees or below the knees, a lot of the offensive linemen now are wearing preventative Don Joy knee braces.
And he's going to have to get some help off the field. But when speaking of offensive linemen injured today, number 66, Armand Lindsay, is back out there on the line for North Greenville. So Dylan Alford will have to come off, and now it looks like he's on the sideline under his own power, so hopefully he'll get back in here soon too. Here on 3rd down and 9 for Hunter. Tries the hard count. Trips right side, and Pedro Mangalt lines up one-on-one left side. Hunter gets a snap, drops back to pass. Here comes pressure, and Hunter is going to be dropped back at the 12-yard line. Carson-Newman brought the house. It pays off. And they're going to get the ball back.
And we're going to need a really good punt right here to get us out of some trouble.
Bobby Foose is your man.
I'm wondering, that's get some mileage out of a scholarship right there. You got a big old tight end, and he's your punter too. That's good for your money right there.
And if I were Wimbush, I'd back up a little bit more. He's not expecting a lot out of Foose, who's a yard deep in his end zone.
But I've seen this kid kick. And they do come for the block. They miss it, and the ball's all the way back to a 40, and he touches it. He touches it. He fumbles it. He's able to get it back, and the ball goes all the way back.
What I tell you, that ain't gonna. It's standing at the 40. That's not gonna be enough.
That's a 70-yard punt, or 68 yards.
What did I tell you? Foose not gonna be denied on that. Defender in his face, and he still drives Carson-Newman back to the 32.
And the sun's beaming down straight down, and I don't know if he lost it, but that definitely would have been a fumble had he not been able to corral that ball at the 32-yard line. He tried the over-the-shoulder catch, and that's the hardest thing to do when you're a punt returner, is catch it over the shoulder and still be able to run with it. Nigel Jay does a great job of anybody doing that, but that's difficult.
Super 1st and 10, two-back set. Back goes out in motion to the flat. North Greenville adjusts coverage. It's a handoff up the middle and fighting for yardage across the 36. Pickup of 4. Number 6, that is Wimbush again. Brought down by number 95, Johnny Birch. Second down, halfway through the fourth quarter. Suber under center. Looks to do the quick pass. Batted at the line, and it is incomplete. Eddie Studevants with the vertical, bats it down, 3rd down.
And that's a great play. That's going to be a nice 5-yard slant route, and he just gets up in the air and blocks that. That's great coaching. If you can't get to the quarterback on that quick drop, jump up and get your hands up.
3rd down and 6 from the 36 for Carson-Newman.
We're seeing great play out of our front 7. And so when your front 7's doing a good job, it makes it easier to play defensive back.
Suber under center, drops back to pass, looks over the middle of the field. Here comes the pressure, dumps it out into his flat to his tailback. He gets the 1st down. Actually, it's going to be right at the sticks, as that was complete to number 34, Marcus Williams.
And Matthew Thomas slows him up, and then Tico Thomas come in and just lays the wood. I'm not sure he wants to catch another underneath pass. That is a 1st down, though.
And will be a 1st down for Carson-Newman. Chains get set at the 43. Clock starts up.
But that's a tremendous shot, trying to jar the ball loose right there. But that's not. He didn't get it by much, maybe 6 inches.
Suber back under center. Fakes the handoff, rolls out left, looking down the field. Here comes pressure. Air mails it up, and it is going to be overthrown. Closest man to it is Seward for Carson-Newman, but Suber overthrows everybody, incomplete.
And his man was open for about 2 yards, but he just overthrows him, and it doesn't make a difference that he's open.
Carson-Newman now set up 2nd down and 10. 6:58 to go in the 4th. North Greenville up 14.
And you got to figure that, if he had had more reps and practice on that, he may have hit that pass. But when you're all the time pitching the ball and running with the ball, when you need to throw the ball deep, you got to have touch, and that only comes with throwing the ball a lot.
Suber brings a receiver in motion. Heads back to the far side. Handoff up the middle. No, Suber keeps it and falls forward to the 45-yard line. Rashad Miller in on the tackle again. 3rd down again for Carson-Newman after the 2-yard pickup from the 45.
And 53, Sam. And me and Sam have been in some classes together. Man, he's a good student. We were in accounting together, struggling together, but he helped me out a lot.
And the clock starts up. Suber gets a snap, handoff up the middle goes Wimbush, and he spins off a tackler and doesn't go down until he gets to the 1st down marker. Rolled over a lineman. Now, a lot of the home side crowd unhappy about that, but he did roll over a lineman, and the officials are going to have to no, it's 1st down Carson-Newman.
Sam Houston went out of the game because he got Rashad Miller fell on him. That's why he's out of the game right now trying to catch his breath.
1st and 10 for Carson-Newman, 2 1st downs already for the Eagles. From the 47 of North Greenville, receiver comes in motion. Suber hands it off up the middle. No, they pitch it out. And going nowhere is number 34, Williams. North Greenville stretches it out. No gain on the play, 2nd down.
It looks like he might have lost a half a yard on that. They were ready for that pitch. They fooled nobody. It's like he had 4 North Greenville defenders over there to meet him after he caught the pitch.
Tony Godbold in on tackle. 2nd down for the Eagles coming up. Not in any rush as we're almost 2/3 of the way through the quarter, but the clock stopped after the out-of-bounds tackle. Suber lines up back under center, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Fakes the pitch, looks back left, throws that way, pass complete. And escorted out of bounds is Wimbush again. And he's short of the 1st down. It's going to be 3rd down, but by how much?
The crowd's upset about a little forearm shiver by Rashad over there, but he's just trying to get him out of bounds. And that's frustration, too. It's getting close to 5 minutes.
And only a 2-yard pickup for Carson-Newman. It's 3rd down and 8 from the 45. Suber under center. Eagles facing another 3rd down. Suber fakes the handoff again, rolls out left, looks down the field, gets pressured, throws back to his right. Wide open man is Wimbush again. Wimbush has the 1st down, slips at the 32. Carson-Newman continues to drive.
Yeah, he had some help slipping down. That's Matthew Thomas getting a shoestring tackle, which keeps him, I think, from getting a bigger game right there.
5 minutes to go in the ball game. Carson-Newman down 2 scores.
Sometimes all you have to do is get a hand on the foot to stop a runner, and that's what he did. That's good effort right there against a good running back. And that's a well-designed play, a sprint out to the left and a throwback screen to the right in the flat.
Marcus Williams in at tailback, as well as Dillingham. Super, look for the pitch. The ball comes free. Was his arm moving forward? No, pass incomplete is the call. He faked the pitch to Williams, went to throw it, was hit as he threw it, incomplete.
And that was Seth on the play, Seth Laughter.
Seth Lauder.
Seth Lauder from Florida.
Well, Lauder's had a couple of pretty good ball games here late. Did pretty well against Wingate, and today against Carson-Newman. Good to see Lauder out there.
Yeah, he held that ball way too long, and that's got to hurt when you get hit from the backside like that.
Suber under center, sends a receiver in motion. Suber rolls out, looks for the option, does so, gets it to Williams. Williams gets pursued from behind, still on his feet. Couple of defensive linemen hanging on to his ankles, and he gets down to the 29, pick up a 3, another Eagle third down coming up.
And you would think with 4 minutes to go, they're doing some conservative play calling. You know, but you're an option team, and you got to be who you are. We got a North Greenville player down over there.
Yeah, on the far side, stops the clock with 4:11 to go. Timeout taken. So in the meantime, looks like Louisville has won again. Yes, of course they have, 52-7 over Boston College. Lamar Jackson rallies up 7 touchdowns this time. That's Brandon Berger getting off the field, holding one of his hands.
And that's just getting caught up in traffic. It's like a washing machine. You got a guy that won't go down, and helmets are coming in, and he probably got a helmet to the wrist. Looks like it. Hopefully that's just a bruise. Hopefully it's not a fracture.
3rd down and 7 from the NGU 29 for Carson-Newman. They've converted 2 already. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Suber under center. 2-back set. Receiver comes in motion from left to right. Suber gets a snap, looks to pass, looks near side, forced to scramble, gets away from 1, looks down the field, takes off, and dives for the first down marker and gets it. 3 first, 3 third down conversions on this drive for Carson-Newman. But it is taking a lot of time off the clock.
You know what? Quan Weeks has learned a very valuable lesson like that. He's trying to get to the quarterback, but he didn't keep outside leverage. He went inside, and the quarterback went outside. If he had stayed outside, that would have been a sack. There's no way he runs to the sideline for the first down if he stays outside leverage. You got to do that as a defensive end.
1st and 10 for Carson-Newman now from the 22. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Suber under center, hands it off to his tailbacks. Ambush up the middle, gets tripped up at the 4 and falls down to the 1.
And the clock's just running. Now you got to think they're going to go quick here. He's limping up to the line again. Suber's limping up to the line. Think he's got to go quick. Probably going to stretch across.
Quarterback keeper, and he's
not going to get it. No, he's.
Oh, and a late flag comes out. Away from the play, up against over where Char Witherspoon and Lonnie Williams are going at it.
Yeah, and that's just a bunch of foolishness because that's away from the play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 1 on the defense. At the distance to the goal, first down.
It doesn't matter. The ball's right there. There's a great submarining by Rashad Miller because Suber tried to sneak it in, and there was such a push that he got pushed off to the right. So that's a tremendous push up front. Now he's going to probably go up top.
And he does jump for it again. The ball comes out, but he crossed the plane, and that is a touchdown, Carson-Newman.
And he's so big and long that, you're not going to stop that. Even if you had a linebacker to meet him, all the ball has to do is cross the plane.
Yeah, but if I were any kind of coach, I would be getting real nervous when my quarterback jumps up over the line like that, because then they're putting their entire body at risk.
Now we're going to see if they make this, if they're going to go for an onside kick.
Snap is down. Booted up by number 35, Carson Wise. And Carson-Newman is back within 7 with 2:54 left to go in the fourth quarter. Update from across the road in Hayes Gymnasium. North Greenville women's volleyball taking on Barton. Each team with a set. Right now, it is Barton leading in the third set, 8-7.
And Rashad Miller's getting an earful from the coach about that play away from the ball. Coach Farrington is telling him, I don't care what he did, you put the ball closer when we had just submarined the quarterback from making it. You gave them an extra chance, and no head coach is going to be happy about that. You just got to be smarter than that. We're up 2 touchdowns. Let's not give them anything easy. And so even though it was only 6 inches, 6 inches is a lot on the goal line.
Now you get into the time where it's late in the ball game. Timeouts are still on the scoreboard. Carson-Newman only with 2, though. So you have to feel it's a slight advantage for North Greenville, but let's see how this kickoff works first.
And it looks like they're probably going to go for an onside kick here.
Yeah, North Greenville stacking bodies up against the line. 10 out of the 11 guys as now they change up the coverage. They change sides. North Greenville adjusts to it. They will go for the onside. It takes a hop, and it goes out of bounds. And a flag comes out. We'll have them meet up and talk about how the ball went out of bounds.
No foul on the play. The receiver touched the ball prior to going out of bounds. First down.
The flag was dropped for kicking the ball out of bounds, but it was touched by a North Greenville defender, so that's not a foul.
And it should be Crusader ball, 1st and 10 in Eagle territory at the 48. 2:53 to go. 2 timeouts left for Carson-Newman to stop the clock.
Let's see if Tristan Jackson can get a seal block for Tracy Scott and just run the ball up the middle again.
They come out in that wishbone set. Scott and Turman in the backfield. Or excuse me, Jackson and Turman, or Foose, as it will be a handoff to Scott. It's a keeper by Hunter, and Hunter had a little bit of a hole, and he gets to the 46.
Yeah, but I don't want to see him out there running the ball like that. That's just an invitation to get hit in a nice turnover. But you know what? I wouldn't go conservative here. I would try to catch them blitzing.
Ball up to the 46. Hunter takes a snap. Now they run the hard count. Milking the clock down to 15 seconds on the play clock. 10. Hunter checking the sideline. Foose in the backfield with Scott.
And Hunter got hit on his lower hand. He's holding that wrist a little bit. We'll see if that affects his throw and if we throw the ball.
Hunter snaps it perfectly. Hand off to Scott. Scott runs right side. Gets the first down and more. To the 30, to the 25, and can't break the last tackle.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted him to get a seam and get on down there.
Down to the 21 of Carson-Newman. 1st and 10 for Tracy Scott.
And Vince Lombardi said you get a seal here and a seal here, and you just run the ball in the alley, and that's what we did. Shades of Vince Lombardi and the Green Bay Packers.
Minute 57 to go.
10 seconds on the clock.
Well, the clock's not running, so Hunter gets to the line, this wishbone set, takes the snap. Hand off to Scott up the middle. He bounces it out left, dives across the 20 down to the 19. That will start the clock. Be 2nd down and 8.
We're going to see if they're going to use any timeouts here.
They still got 2 left. North Greenville could kick a field goal from here if they get all the way down to it and make it a 2-possession ball game. 1.5 minutes to go.
16 seconds on the play clock and counting. 1:24 left in the game. And Carson-Newman is, you got to say, I mean, you got to have some time if you make a stop to try to make a comeback.
Hunter takes a snap. Hand off to Scott. Scott finds a little bit of a hole and drags defenders down to the 15. And now we will have a timeout. Eagles take their second to last timeout.
And that leaves you 1 minute and 5 seconds to go 60, 70, 80 yards. But that's poor clock management if you ask me.
North Greenville facing a 3rd down and 4 from the 15. This is definitely within Gravely's wheelhouse. It'd be a 32-yarder from here. He's made his career long is 47.
But that's not what you want here. I mean, it's great to get a field goal, but it's better to get this first down, and better yet, get a touchdown from another touchdown from Tracy Scott on the burst. When we don't care if it comes up the middle to the left or the right. That's what North Greenville's looking for. And, of course, if you are a big fan of the Eagles, you're hoping for a stop here, no points, and to be able to get back and get the ball and score. But you got to figure, we got a 7-point lead, 1 minute 5 left, and we have the ball. But this is where you make your money and you lose sleep if you're an offensive coordinator here. Do you go for 4 yards on the ground, or do you go to a quick slant to Jamaje Rooks or Javon Smith, or do you go for it all and do a fade route to Mason Sanders?
We're going to get our answer right here. 3rd down and 4 from the Eagle 15. 2 receivers set, 1 left, 1 right. Hunter takes a snap. Hand off to Scott, left side. Scott won't get it. In fact, he won't get anything. And the last timeout taken by Carson-Newman with exactly 1 minute to go.
And sometimes you just have to do that. But I would like to see us go 4 wide and do a draw play. Just make them respect and honor the pass. But they didn't have to on that. We only had 2 wide receivers in the pattern. And so they loaded up on the run, put 8, 9 in the box, and got to stop.
Yeah.
And now you got to think about, so many things that can happen on a field goal, a blocked field goal, a fumble snap on the field goal, and they get an easy touchdown. You may think about going for it on 4th down to burn more clock and making them drive 80 yards to win the game.
Yeah, it would be a very long drive for Carson-Newman if North Greenville went for it and didn't get it. Ball's on the 15 right now. That's a fair piece to the end zone, 85 yards the other way.
But we went so conservative. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Farrington and Coach Pizzo, we go for this on 4th down. 4th down and 4. I'm still either emptying the ball and doing a draw, or I'm doing 4 wide and throw a slant. And it looks like we're going to try to extend the lead. And this is why it's so important. A good snap to the holder, a good placement of the ball, and then the game-winning kick.
Gravely from 32. Snap is down. Gravely gets it up. Wobbly kick. And it is good.
And the holder did a great job. That ball is not cleanly snapped to him. It's still, he catches the ball in the turf. He's able to position it without Gravely having to make a hitch in his kicking motion. So that's a great job by the holder getting the ball down for Gravely to kick the ball through.
And Matt Gravely continues a strong kicking freshman campaign. Missed one today, but nice bit of redemption there. Able to tack on and make it a 10-point lead, 34-24 North Greenville. Gravely now 8 for 11 on field goals. And he's going to have to boot this one deep. Return man for Carson-Newman back at their own 5, and boy, Gravely gets a hold of this one. Back to the goal line they go. Carson-Newman's going to bring it out. It's number 4, Williams. Williams gets to the 25, to the 30, still on his feet. Upended at the 33 by number 63, Trip Kirkland on the tackle, so that will leave Carson-Newman with 67 yards to go in 46 seconds.
Now, we have all that speed on kickoff coverage, but number 63 comes down, linebacker-sized guy lumbering and makes a good, sure, form tackle, head across the ball, shoulder in the midsection, and make sure that return goes to the 33 only. That's a great tackle on kickoff coverage, and that's what you got to be. You got to be sound in all stages of game. Being unsound cost Clemson the national championship last year.
And look at this. Suber in the shotgun, under center the whole game. He'll have to pass. Looks down the field, throws, pass complete at the first down marker to his receiver number 4, Williams. Gets twisted down at the 45. Clock stops while the chains get set.
And we're in this prevent zone, and we're going to give you 10 and 5. We're just not going to give you 7 points.
30 seconds to go. Carson-Newman gets set. Suber in the gun, 4 wide set. Takes a snap, drops back to pass again, throws, pass complete. This time to his tailback, Wimbush, and the clock will stop as he is tackled out of bounds. 22 seconds to go.
And that guy's really strong. He was caught about 3 yards inside the boundary, and he just forced his way to the outside to get out of bounds.
The Eagles at midfield.
You got to think they got to take a shot now. 22 seconds left.
Suber in the gun, drops back again, looks to the far side, gets pressured, gets away from it, still pressured, ball's free, and Anthony Blair grabs for it.
And that's great hands by number 98, Deshaun Williams, just knocks the ball out.
And it hits North Greenville ball. Anthony Blair comes up with the fumble.
And the fumble caused by a strip from number 98, though, Desmond Williams. What a great play by him. Just slaps the ball clean out of the quarterback's hands as he's scrambling. And that whole pressure was applied by the defensive line. So that's great work. They apply the pressure, they get the strip, and the defensive line gets the recovery. So that's great work by the interior defense of North Greenville, and that's it. That's the ball game. With 11 seconds left, all we have to do is kneel, and we get another victory. And our playoff hopes are still alive.
I guess Desmond Williams thought it was a PAT. He's already gotten 2 blocks this year as Hunter lines it up under center, takes the knee, and the clock will start. No timeouts for Carson-Newman. That is indeed your ball game with 5, 4, 3, 2, and the final second have run off the clock. North Greenville wins at 34-24, and for the second time in this series history, they have beaten the Carson-Newman Eagles. North Greenville will improve to 6-4 overall, keep those playoff hopes alive. Carson-Newman will fall to 4-6. North Greenville with one game left on the road at Limestone in Gaffney. Carson-Newman, 1 home game left for them. That is on the road at Tusculum College.
And this loss assures that Carson-Newman will have a losing season for the second time since 1978. So they've had a winning program, and this has been a tough season for them. And they fought hard in this game. It would have been easy for them to just lay down, but they come away and with a 10-point loss. They just couldn't get enough moving on the ground. And then when North Greenville got them in 3rd and long, that's just not a recipe for a option offense to pick up those first downs on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 19. And that was a good job by the interior defense of North Greenville, just getting a lot of push against this option attack.
It was exactly that. They kept Carson-Newman limited, not completely shut down, but limited on the ground, and that's what you got to do against this triple option veer offense. North Greenville saw plenty of it against the Citadel earlier this season. So Coach Farrington picks up his 6th win this season for this North Greenville football team. Ken Sparks will go back to the drawing board in the season finale against Tusculum, and we'll see what the Eagles can do next week against the Pioneers, as Ken Sparks will have this team rebounding quickly. They won't be down for very long. So next up will be the Moe's players of the game. We name an offensive and defensive player of the game that had a impactful performance. And so for offense, how about this? I'm feeling number 2, Tracy Scott.
Yeah, I think he wins that award hands down today. Some big plays.
And I'm trying to figure out who we could give it to on defense. I'd like to give it to a senior. You know, Sam Houston came up big again. Tony Godbolt had a lot of nice plays. Nigel Gay as well. Really the whole secondary with Godbolt, McDonald, Gay, and Witherspoon. They're all seniors, and they're going to be gone after the end of this season.
Well, it was a great defensive performance. That's all I can tell you. It's a team effort. I thought the defensive line played especially well.
Well, how about number 93, Rashad Miller?
Yeah.
The big man in the trenches getting the job done today.
Yeah, he got a lot of push. And so we can give it to Rashad, and because he, even though it may not show up in tackles, but you know, definitely he really blew up that middle. He was double and triple team, and he still got sacks, got his hands on the quarterback, made a lot of tackles today. So hats off to Rashad Miller, especially last year early having to struggle with that plantar fasciitis and able to fight back through injury and rehab, and really the coaches would tell him, you know, it's okay if you're not playing this year, but really get healthy for this year. We're going to need you, and he's really played a big part. And of course, you can't say enough about Anthony Blair, just playing so well, number 90. So the whole defensive line played well, but Rashad Miller, that's a good pick for defensive player of the game.
And again, that's the most player of the game. Tracy Scott on offense, Rashad Miller on defense. Mose of Greer in the same shopping plaza as the Target and PetSmart across the Wade Hampton Boulevard from the branch of the Bank of Travelers Rest branch out there on Wade Hampton. I think they're open until 10 o'clock tonight, so go over and get yourself some Joey Bag of Donuts or whatever pleases you from Mose of Greer. Tracy Scott and Rashad Miller, players of the game for the final home game here from Yount Stadium.
You know what's great to see is both teams meet at midfield to shake hands and then to kneel and pray. We need more of that. We need more sportsmanship in sports, and we need more prayer in our country. So that's a really good way to end a football game, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all brothers and sisters in Christ, and that's a great way to end a game.
And this was a relatively clean game. Players able to keep emotions in check. Officials not having to get involved a lot. So hats off to both North Greenville and Carson-Newman. Next up for us here on the North Greenville Sports Network, it will be finally time for basketball season, as we are off for a good portion of the week until November the 11th on Veterans Day, when we have our first doubleheader in basketball. The women's team will take on Francis Marion, and the men's team will take on Coker College in the South Atlantic Conference Carolinas Challenge. Also before that, the women's basketball team tomorrow afternoon will have an exhibition at Clemson University. So if you want to get a sneak peek at the players for this Lady Crusader squad, they'll be at Little John Coliseum to take on the Clemson Lady Tigers.
And I was there with my family this week for the Lander exhibition. That is a beautiful state arena with the largest jumbotron in college basketball now. It's a $63 million renovation, and you can tell where every bit of that money with, and it's great access too for the handicapped. Wheelchairs are able to just roll up. There's not a bad seat in Little John right now, so I wouldn't miss the opportunity to go see that exposition in a wonderful venue.
Yeah, they redid the whole place last year. Clemson played all their home games over at the what is now called the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, formerly known as the Bilo Center, in Greenville. So good to hear the restoration went well, as we're waiting on some final stats, because definitely want to get those to you. So in the meantime, again, players of the game, Tracy Scott and Rashad Miller. The final home game does go the way of the Crusaders, but now they're going to have to take care of business against Limestone next week, and they need some help from Valdosta State and West Georgia in front of them to inch up those two spots. Not sure what a 10-point win against Carson-Newman is going to do, but it's definitely it's not going to hurt you. And here we go. Well, we just got the whole stat pack, didn't we? And here we go, some individual numbers for you. On the ground today for North Greenville, it was Tracy Scott in front and by a lot. 16 rushes on the ground for 157 yards and a touchdown. Ashton Hurd went 13 for 55. Tristan Jackson added 2 for 4, and Javon Smith added another yard. Will Hunter also scrambled 4 times for a gain of 3. But he lost 10, so that will net him negative yardage, unfortunately. Through the air is where he made his impact, though. 11 for 17, 220 through the air, and 2 touchdowns. Hunter did get sacked twice. Receiving, Javon Smith led the way, 4 catches for 60 yards. Bobby Foose, 3 for 80 and a touchdown. Mason Sanders, 3 for 53. Christian Bruce, 1 for 27 and a score. The longest punt of the afternoon for Bobby Foose was 55 yards, so not quite as long as we thought it was, but still a good day overall for Foose. Matt Gravely added 2 good field goals today. Did miss 1 from 43, but he was good from 21 and 32. All-purpose-wise, Tracy Scott out in front again, 157 yards of that on the ground. Bobby Foose, and following up with 80, and Cam Rice added 62 kick return yards to that as well. On the ground for Carson-Newman, Antonio Wimbush, 17 for 114 yards. He finishes with a net gain of 105. Dillingham will finish with a net gain of 33 yards on 11 carries. Marcus Williams, 3 for 5. Noah Suba, the quarterback, ran 20 times for a gain of 44. He lost 42 yards, so he only gets a net gain of 2 yards. Through the air, he went 13 of 21 for 160 and a score. Receiving, it was Wimbush, 6 for 90 and that touchdown. Lonnie Williams, 4 for 36. Seward, 2 for 27. Williams, 1 for 7. Carson Wise also added a field goal. He was good from 33. Defensively for North Greenville, Richard Witherspoon leads the way. 8 total tackles with a tackle for loss. Tony Godbolt finishes his final senior home game with 7 total tackles. And Randy Brown, who is wearing 38 today for Quan Weeks, he's got a long stat list. 5 total tackles, 1 sack, and a tackle and a half for loss. Anthony Blair, another long stat sheet for him. 5 total tackles, a sack and a half, and 2 tackles for loss. Sam Houston, 4 total tackles, a half a sack, and a half a tackle for loss. Seth Lauder with a big performance, 2.5 total tackles, a sack and a half, and a tackle and a half for loss. Rashad Miller, our defensive player of the game, with 2 tackles, half a sack, and 1 tackle and a half for a loss for him. So you look down the stat list, and you see a lot of good numbers for both teams. North Greenville getting the win, of course, 34-24, but still good numbers to see for the Crusaders as we head to the final regular season game. And so, Orlando, you've come on to help us here with these last 2 home games. Of course, you follow Crusader football pretty well. So, your overall thoughts of, I guess, not just the home games, but the overall season for NGU.
I think it was a really good season. If you look at our losses against DeSitter and North Alabama, those games, we were in those games. Now, they had a little bit more talent and a little bit more depth. But when you're playing up like that, when you're going up in the division, and you're, I think those benefits have boded well for us during this season. We're obviously making steps forward. I think there's nobody more shocked at the end of the first quarter against the Citadel that we had scored, and we were at one point we were up in that game, and it was just so we line up every week and we're getting better. We're getting great recruits. Think about it, we got like 6 or 7 guys that are just super fast. They got passed up. You talking about Javon Smith, you talking about number 12, Javon Smith. You talking about DeMaje Rooks. Nigel Gay, he's played well. We get tons of talent here, and we're starting to really, I think, have a great reputation. If you look at the other sports writers writing about us, they have a lot of respect for our football program. So we're heading in the right direction, and we're going to be in the Gulf South before you know it. And so we're getting better, and we're going to have to get better because we're going to be in a very tough Division II conference, and that's going to be good for us. So We're growing the program here. I think we've had a great season. We had a great upset win against Wingate. They came in 7-1, ranked 24th, and we sent them home with a loss. We had a desperate team here in Carson-Newman. They really needed to win today to keep from having a losing season. They did not get that done, and they have a perennial history of winning. And so we are beating some good teams, and if you read in the great sports writing that we have, we've got in our region, we've got the strongest strength of schedule. So when we're losing to really tough opponents, and when we're beating opponents, we're beating tough opponents too. So our strength of schedule has been really good, and we've been able to play really well against some quality opponents. So hopefully we will get a chance to get in the playoffs, but that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that strength of schedule gets factored in down the road, because the past couple of seasons I don't think it has exactly. But anyway, for the final time here from Yount Stadium, this has been the North Greenville Sports Network. Remember, one game left for North Greenville in the regular season on the road in Gaffney, South Carolina, as they take on Limestone College, and one game left for Carson-Newman. They'll take on Tusculum. So for the final time here in 2016 from Yount Stadium, we certainly hope North Greenville makes the playoffs, as we'll have to wait and see. A couple of more weeks to go on that note. So for myself, Gray Sutherland, for Orlando Wells, for Christian Athey on camera, Kimber Henry on camera, Dave Parson on camera, Will and Alan Cahaley producing. This has been the North Greenville Sports Network.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Time to watch the game.